Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the best sports show out, episode 43, Highly Opinionated. I'm your co-host, Josh, the best co-host in the game. What's up, JG?
What up, fellas? How you doing?
We good, bro. How you?
Everything's great, bro. Can't complain.
It's hot. I definitely can't complain. It's hot as I don't know what outside. Jesus Christ. Hot as hell outside. Dang. Other than that, though, it's been a good day. It's been a good weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Everything, Highly Opinionated. He's back on your screen. What's going on, Ross? What's up, brother?
What's good, man? How you feeling?
Good, man. We better this week, man. Your face is on the screen. People ask me, like, man, what happened to Ross last week? Everything's fine, man. I told you he'd be back. There he is.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm happy to be back. Yes, sir. And yeah, honestly, all I wanted to say is you already took it. It's hot out.
No, it is.
It's hot out.
It's going to be hot like that. Feel like forever now. So welcome to summer, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to summer.
I'll take this over the winners we have here. I'll be all right.
Oh, yeah. Bro, don't worry. Breaking news. Highly Opinionated won't be based out of Maryland for forever. I'm just gonna leave that alone. So I got you on that. We're gonna move over to the West Coast a little bit. Get some of that sunlight on us. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you and thank you guys for watching episode 42 last week. Again, we aim to be the best sports show out. We appreciate you guys for all your support, DMs, comments, etc. We try to get back to them as much as we can. We appreciate the back and forth banner of the show. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the show is called Highly Opinionated. Everybody has a point. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody's opinion should be respected. It should be heard. And we go on about it. So, again, we appreciate all you guys for watching episode 42. Ross, let them know where they can follow us at on our socials.
Yes, sir. Y'all can follow us on Instagram, Highly Opinionated __. You can follow us on TikTok at Highly Opinionated _SS. You can follow us on Twitter or X at Highly O _SS. And of course, you're already on YouTube. So go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we will comment back.
Absolutely. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, my brother. Club JG podcast, doing great big things over there, bro. What's new in the Club JG podcast work?
Obviously we got like a big NBA offseason to look forward to, so I'm definitely gonna be keeping my eyes on that one. And we'll be talking a little bit about it today, but just looking forward to the offseason. This is that time of year where we kind of don't have basketball and football, so it's gonna be some different topics inside sports and also outside of sports. So just stay tuned. I always got something for y'all.
One of the best shows I watched, the Club JG podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Not just sports. Give you a variety. Again, I said this last week. The Ugly Truth. Ugly Truth will have you maybe sleeping on the couch if you don't answer it right. So you make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to Club JG podcast. John, my brother, are you ready to get episode 43 started?
Yes, sir. Let's get to it.
Bro, let's get to it. Let's start off with, as we always do, with some NFL news. The Baltimore Ravens signed Jaire Alexander, former Green Bay Packers defensive back, cornerback. He signed to a 1-year deal with the Baltimore Ravens. What is your thoughts on this deal for the Ravens? Does this make the Ravens better? Is this the move that should finally, hopefully, get these guys over the hump and advancing to a Super Bowl?
Okay, so my thought is I like the signing. I actually love the signing. It provides depth at corner, which is something that's important in the NFL. And you're adding him to an already talented Ravens secondary with the likes of Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, that are Ravens first-round draft pick this past year in the NFL draft, along with Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, TJ Tampa. You add a Jaire Alexander, to provide depth. But to answer, does this make the Ravens better? Sure. Adding a former All-Pro like Jaire Alexander will definitely make your team better. There is some risk. He has only played about 34 of about 61 games since 2021. He's been dealing with injuries. So when you have a guy where the availability becomes a question, you're rolling the dice here. But if you're going to be a Super Bowl contender, if you're going to be swinging for a championship, sometimes you got to take a couple swings. You got to go for it. When Jaire Alexander is healthy and on the field, he is one of the best that the NFL has. So don't make no mistake about it. So I think from that perspective, it's a great signing for the Ravens. Now, but the answer, is this the final piece? No, because the Ravens had pieces to do that last year. They just didn't get it done. And being a Ravens fan the way that I am, I will be objective here. They did not get it done. There was no reason why the year before that, there was no reason why the Ravens should not have been to a Super Bowl by now in the Lamar Jackson era. In the AFC Championship game in 2023, it was the first AFC Championship game in Baltimore since they were the Colts way back when with Johnny Unitas. They were the better team. They had the better defense. Lamar Jackson did not play well, flat out. Too many turnovers. Zay Flowers made a rookie mistake, fumbling towards the end zone, getting that penalty, and Lamar forced throws. They were just and they didn't run the football. They didn't do what got them there. They started playing differently because Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes were across them on the other sideline, and the spotlight was on them. In 2020 and this past season, lost to the eventual MVP Josh Allen. Okay, but you can't tell me you look at that game and look at those teams and tell me that the Ravens weren't the better team. So while getting Jaire Alexander is a great pickup, it's no excuse. There were no excuses last year. There was no excuse before that. There's damn sure no excuse this year for the Ravens. You got to get it done. You got to beat Josh Allen. You got to beat Joe Burrow. You got to beat Patrick Mahomes and make a Super Bowl appearance. Period.
So I like the move for Jaire Alexander. The Ravens added Shedeur Sanders, another cornerback early in the offseason. So basically what Jaire Alexander has to do, he just has to come in and play a role. You're not asking him to be the number one corner. You're not asking him to be the number two corner. Now he might eventually become that, but you're not asking him to be that right now. You're just asking him to come in and play a role. You got Marlon Humphrey. Everybody likes Marlon. You got Nate Wiggins, rookie year from last year, expected to get better from even his rookie year. And you have Kyle Hamilton and Malachi Starks as your starting safeties. Now, I will say the loss of Darius Washington sucks. That was a low-key big loss because he's a Swiss Army knife, can do it all on the field, play that safety position well for them. But I think the Ravens defense should be better, especially in the secondary. Shouldn't give up as many explosive plays as they did last year. Again, Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, Jaire Alexander, Awuzie, got Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton, in my opinion, is the best safety in the NFL currently. So, and again, Malachi Starks was the best safety in the draft coming out of Georgia this past NFL draft. So, I think the Ravens should be better. Is this the move that's going to take them over the top to win the Super Bowl or get to the Super Bowl? No. The Ravens have the pieces that they have. The Ravens already have a Super Bowl good. The Ravens already have a good enough Super Bowl team. Lamar Jackson, do your job. John Harbaugh, do your job. Mark Andrews, do your job. Derrick Henry, do your job. Offensive line, do your job. Defensive line, do your job. Linebackers, do your job. Corner, safety, etc. Wide receivers, do your job. So if people do what they're supposed to do, the Ravens lost to Buffalo 28, 26, 26, 24. They lost by two. Lost by two because of the missed 2-point conversion. They had several mistakes in the game. Yes, people want to talk about Mark Andrews. By the way, I'm glad the Ravens kept Mark Andrews. They're gonna have the best tight end tandem in the league with Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely again, like they had last year. So I like the Ravens. I think they're one of the best teams in the AFC. And as the season progresses, as the season gets closer, obviously we'll make our NFL season predictions. But I think the Ravens are in a good position. They just need to do what they're supposed to do their job, and everything will be fine.
I just want to add real quick, Josh. We watch a lot of sports shows, ESPN. I happen to come across, one show, ESPN in particular. They had this guy, Joe Fortenbaugh.
Fortenbaugh, yeah, the gambling expert.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
Expert, ESPN bet. This guy's a big Philly guy, like another person we know that's on this show. Shout out to him, we miss you, bro. But he made a comment about the Ravens being compared to the Philadelphia 76ers, and that really kind of raked my freaking nerves because, first of all, the Ravens didn't spend years tanking and being garbage on purpose to try to create the process of getting great players. Because Philly got good players, and then he did nothing with them. Didn't even see a conference championship. The Ravens were at least in the AFC championship game and just a couple seasons removed. Now, I'm not going to be one of those fans that is chanting Super Bowl in the month of June. I'm not going to do it. I've been a fan too long. I know how this team operates. I'm not going to do it. All I'm going to say is nobody's going to care what the Ravens do in the regular season. The only thing they care about is what you do in January. Yep. Lamar can have another MVP season. Ain't going to matter. He can beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City this year, and it can be a convincing win. Ain't gonna matter. It matters more if they lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, because then the narrative is Lamar can't beat Patrick, Ravens choke against the Chiefs. But if they win, it's like going to be back page news because no one cares.
Yep.
Get it done in January. There's no more excuses. If they lose, we have to. And look, fair or not, you know, and it's funny, we talk about, you know, ring culture, individuality versus team sports. We're going to be looking at Lamar Jackson if they lose. Let's be honest. We're going to look at him and say, what didn't he do? What mistake did he make? Or what did you do that your team wasn't successful? Even if you played a great game, what little mistake did you make that your team didn't win? So that's how it's going to be, because the Ravens are good. That's why they're going to get criticized the way that they will, because they're good enough. This is not the Cleveland Browns, respectfully. This is not the sorry, Cleveland. I know I gave you another straight there, but this is not the New York Giants. There are expectations for the Ravens to do well. The problem is you have not gotten the job done in the postseason with a team that is capable of doing that. So until you get it done, nobody's going to care what you do in the regular season. But to say that they're like the Philadelphia 76ers is very Philly of Joe Fortenbaugh. I'm going to say that. And like, I know y'all just won a Super Bowl. Congratulations. But pump the brakes a little bit, bro. Just saying. Yeah,
I'm not gonna say the Ravens are the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't think that's Joe Fortenbaugh's best. I'll pun intended. That's not Joe Fortenbaugh's best bet. I'll say that. No, that's not good. I don't agree with that assessment at all. If you want to criticize the Ravens for not winning, fine. I've done that. That's fine. But to say that the Philadelphia 76ers, no. The Philadelphia 76ers been trying to tell you to trust the process for years. The process was Fultz, Ben Simmons, and Embiid. Now with the process is Embiid, Maxey, Paul George, and the number 3 pick. So, no, the Ravens aren't that. But, again, all eyes will be on the Baltimore Ravens this year. One of the few teams that have high Super Bowl aspirations and goals. So, again, if they don't get it done, yeah, you're going to look at the marquee players about why they haven't gotten it done. I don't know why my compadre just throwing strays at the Cleveland Browns fans for what they've done. But speaking of Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders, he was caught speeding twice this month in Cleveland. Your thought process on that, bro?
What are you doing, bro? Like, what are you doing? Shedeur Sanders was a 5th-round draft pick this past season. I'm one of the people that said it was absolute garbage. She was number 1 quarterback on Mel Kiper's quarterback list. We haven't seen a drop off like that since freaking Matt Barkley way back in 2013 or something like that, or even earlier than that. We knew it had nothing to do with football. Let's get that out of the way. It had nothing to do with football. It had nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders' game. It had everything to do with his dad and what he said in the media, which came back to bite him. Let's be honest. People who were higher up in the NFL. So congrats, NFL. Whatever scheme you had of humbling Shedeur Sanders, you did it. But with that being said, it is what it is. You are a 5th-round draft pick for a team that also drafted a quarterback ahead of you, who has Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett in there. You are on a tight leash as it is. There's a spotlight on you as it is. Everyone knows bro, you got prank called on draft night.
Yep.
You got prank called on draft night, bro.
Yep.
There's a lot of people out here who are waiting, holding their breath for a reason to make fun of you, to ridicule you, to say he's too arrogant, he won't succeed. You can't do dumb things like this. Speeding, that's stupid. You can control that. You don't need anything extra to come with you to give the Browns any kind of reason to doubt you, to say that, oh, maybe we can't trust him as our quarterback. They'll somehow loop in football with a non-football situation because you are who you are. They're going to find a way to say, okay, he did this dumb thing. How can we trust him on the field? How can we trust him to make the right reads? How can we trust him with our playbook? Stuff ain't got nothing to do with the situation, but they're going to do it. Don't give people ammo that want you to fail. All you got to do is keep doing what you're doing in training camp. Reports have been coming out. You've been doing well.
Yes. Minicamp. Talking about minicamp. Gotcha.
Yeah, minicamp. Don't do anything stupid to find something to get in your way. It's in your hands now. I'm cheering for Shedeur Sanders. They got me cheering for a Cleveland Brown right now. I'm cheering for Shedeur Sanders. I want him to be successful. And I want all these people. I want him to stick it to all these people that want him to fail. and they know who they are. They want him to fail because they think he's arrogant. He's Deion Sanders' son. What would hurt Deion more than anything than watching his son fail in the NFL? Ha ha! Like that would bring joy to my life. I want him to stick it to those people. Don't do things like this that you can control. You can't control what the coach's decisions make if you go through mini camp, training camp, and they decide who the starting quarterback is. All you can do is control what you do. What you do every day in training camp, mini camp. What you do off the field. Just chill. Do your job, play football. Don't give these people any kind of ammo to discredit you and say that we can't trust you, let's cut him. Because Shedeur Sanders I think Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback. I think he's got the potential to be a franchise quarterback, whether it be with Cleveland or somewhere else. Just do football, bro. We don't need anything extra. You already the most polarizing quarterback in this class. Probably the most polarizing player in all through the draft. There's a massive spotlight on you, bro, and you're a 5th round pick. Don't do anything to make this worse for yourself. Come on.
I agree with that. Don't do anything to make it worse for yourself and learn from this. I don't really think this is a big deal. Now, him going 101 miles per hour, yeah, that's terrible judgment. So that's you can look at him for that. But we've all sped. Like I was young, we've all did dumb stuff behind the wheel.
Yeah, I'm paying speeding tickets right now. Like I feel you, but yeah, I'm not Shedeur Sanders. That's why it's you know what I mean.
No, I got you. I get that, but I'm saying you learn from speeding tickets, so hopefully you don't have any more after the ones that you have to pay. I'm saying that if he learns from this, then this will be a mere bag of shells. This won't be a big deal, but he has to learn from this. This can't happen again. Because now you're looking at poor judgment. Like you know better and you're still doing the same SHIT. You got to do better. In order to know, if you know better, then do better. You know better now, so do better. And I think that Shedeur will be fine. The reason why I'm not so worried about this is that he's young. Like he's young. He's gonna take chances. When you take chances and you fail, learn from that. I'm sure his father, Deion Sanders, is talking to him in his ear. I'm sure his family is talking to him in his ear. So you've had a good mini camp. Mini camp is over now. So no, stay focused on your craft. Like don't you got caught speeding. Don't let it happen again. Don't get caught out here. Okay, don't let it go from speeding to now you're being caught with an illegal substance on you. Not an illegal substance, but a substance on you that you shouldn't have. Whether it's alcohol, whether it's, whatever. Don't have anything on. Don't have any of that type of stuff with you. You feel me? Like learn from this mistake. Don't put yourself in this position. And I think everything will be fine. I think the Cleveland Browns, we both knew that Shedeur Sanders should have got drafted before the 5th round. Now, do people thought he should have been number 1, number 2? That's fine. I didn't necessarily think he was the 2nd or 3rd best player in the draft. But I damn sure thought he was going to go higher than the 5th round. I thought the Steelers might have drafted him. I thought the Saints might have drafted him. There's a couple teams that drafted. Hell, you can laugh all you want. I thought the Cowboys in a couple, like 2nd, 3rd round, maybe even 4th round, had the opportunity to draft him just because of the connection with Jaire and Deion.
I was the one that said the Cowboys should trade Dak Prescott to get Shedeur Sanders. Okay. So I was thinking that could possibly happen.
So my point is that Shedeur should have been got drafted, but you'll hear the whispers if he doesn't learn from this. Well, this is why he fell down to the 5th round. He doesn't have the best decision making. He's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. So Shedeur, learn from your mistakes, do better, and be better. And if you do that, everything will be fine because you're not going to put yourself in the same stupid position over and over again. Learn from your mistakes, sir. And I think that he will. I really do. Ladies and gentlemen, this is talking season in the NFL. People put out tiers. People put out things. It's talking season. It's talking season all throughout football, whether it's Pop Warner, high school, college, rep, pro, however you want to look at it. It's talking season. Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys see on the screen, there's a graphic up. By the way, this is you guys on Twitter need to follow my brother @_John_Grant. You guys can see the image on your screen. So we have a Super Bowl tier, and we have the Kansas City Chiefs in there, the Buffalo Bills in there, the Philadelphia Eagles in there, the Washington Commanders in there. I don't understand that. And the Cincinnati Bengals in there. Strong contenders. The tier under them. We have the San Francisco 49ers, the Los Angeles Rams, the Detroit Lions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Shout out to that. Shout out to somebody showing some love to my man, my team down there in Tampa. Shout out to that. Oh, Tampa Bay on the same line as the Baltimore Ravens? Am I seeing that right? Am I seeing that right? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, I'll go first because I already know where you're going. So I'll save the entertainment. I'll save the entertainment for last. I don't think the Commanders should be on that top tier of Super Bowl tier. Most people think the Commanders should get better. That's fine. I actually think I've been saying this for months now. I think the Commanders will take a slight step back. So I don't think they're Super Bowl. I don't think the Commanders should be in the Super Bowl tier. If anything, they should be in the strong contenders tier with Detroit, the Rams, the 49ers, Tampa Bay, and obviously the Baltimore Ravens are in there. So I don't think Washington should be in the Super Bowl tier. The floor is yours, sir. The floor is yours.
DC had an amazing year. They found their franchise quarterback in Jaden Daniels. They should be very excited for years to come.
Yes, they should.
You're crowning them a little too early as Super Bowl contenders. That's just my opinion. DC, you can fight with me later. I'm always ready. You know where to find me. Love JG Podcast on Highly Opinionated. You know where to find me. I do not hide.
Yeah, we don't run. We don't run. We don't run.
No. Let me get to the Cincinnati Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals. The Super Bowl tier, Cincinnati Bengals. You better put some respect on their name. Super Bowl tier, bro. Super Bowl tier.
In 2021, Joe Burrow, as we know, took the Cincinnati Bengals to the Super Bowl when he beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Yes, something that none of these young quarterbacks have not been able to do. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, they were not able to beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Did Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals win that Super Bowl they were in versus the Rams?
From my recollection, no. Aaron Donald basically single-handedly destroyed the game the last two plays of the game. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically Cincinnati has 0 championships like the Ravens, like the Bills, like the Texans, right? Patrick Mahomes is the one with the 3 championships, right?
Yes, that is a fact. Yes, sir.
Did the Bengals make the playoffs this past year?
I'm looking through Kansas City was the 1 seed, Buffalo was the 2 seed, the Ravens were the 3 seed, Texans were the 4 seed, Chargers were the 5 seed, Broncos were the 7 seed, the 6 seed, Pittsburgh was the 6 seed. No, I don't see the Cincinnati Bengals on the playoff.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, C. Higgins, they were healthy, right?
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
You know, starting quarterback Joe Burrow, the one that everyone says is so much better than everyone else. He was healthy, right?
Yes, he was healthy.
I remember in week 1, the New England Patriots and Jacoby Brissett came into Cincinnati and beat the Bengals, right?
That happened. Yes, sir. That definitely happened.
When are we going to stop living off of 2021 with Cincinnati and Joe Burrow? When are we going to look? Because God knows y'all would do that with every other quarterback, including my favorite, including my team, Lamar Jackson. You would destroy him for that, right? When are we going to move off of that? It was 1 Super Bowl run that they made, and they lost. They didn't even win. And we're still year after year after year. Oh, Joe Burrow beat Patrick Mahomes. He went to Kansas City and did it. You don't get a Super Bowl trophy for beating Patrick Mahomes. He's in the AFC just like Cincinnati is. What the hell has Cincinnati done since 2021? Nothing. They've won nothing. We continuously live off of that 1 Super Bowl run. It's a "what have you done for me lately" league. Am I correct in saying that, Josh? What have you done for me lately?
You are 100% right, sir.
So when the hell are we going to stop living off of that? Cincinnati has done nothing since then. They can't make the playoffs. Their defense is garbage. And it could possibly be even worse this year because they won't pay Trey Hendrickson. And the guy that they drafted, Stewart, he might opt out and go get drafted somewhere else next year. So you try to replace the guy you don't want to pay, and then he don't even want to be there because you don't want to pay him what he wants.
And he's a rookie, bro. It's a scale. I'm sorry. It's a scale contract.
Rookie. He's a freaking rookie who hasn't played a down in the NFL, and he's having contract problems with you. What is that? Oh, we got Joe Burrow. We're fine. We got Jamar Chase. We're fine. And Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and T. Higgins are damn good. They are scary on offense. I get it. But they can't play defense for you. They cannot. They only play one side of the ball. They can't play defense for you. If you don't have a defense, you can't win trying to outscore everybody. You just tried it. You literally just tried it this past season. It failed.
Didn't work.
It failed. So instead of addressing the problem that you had, you somehow potentially are going to make this worse. But you got the Bengals on a Super Bowl tier with the Kansas City Chiefs above the Ravens. Oh, the Ravens are a regular season team. Haha, like, look, I get the running joke that the Ravens are a regular season team. They've had great regular seasons and have not performed up to par in the playoffs. I get it. But my God, when are we going to stop living off of one freaking Super Bowl run that didn't even end in the championship? Joe Burrow's the new Joe Cool. The only Joe Cool that we know is Joe Flacco. He had a great Super Bowl run. He took out Peyton Manning and took out Tom Brady on the road. But you know what he also did? He finished it with a championship.
He did.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And we'll get into the whole thing about rings and ring culture later on. I got a lot to say about that. But it don't mean a damn thing without the ring. That's what I always hear. That's what we play for. But when it comes to Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow, it don't matter. It don't matter if they go 7-9. It don't matter if they go 6-10 this year and miss the playoffs again. But he beat Patrick Mahomes that one year in the playoffs. He's still better than Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, because he did that. What the hell have you done for me lately, Cincinnati? Zach Taylor, what have you done? Lately, you lost to Jacoby Brissett at home. Lately, you barely – who the hell knows what you do in September? Because you got the worst record in September that I've ever seen with a guy like Joe Burrow under center, and you can't seem to win. It's always you're playing catch-up. Oh, just let the Cincinnati Bengals get hot. They always start slow. That starting slow is not going to work.
Not at all.
You're going to dig yourself a hole, and it's going to be too late for you to dig out of. You're depending – so it's freaking October, and you're already depending on teams to start losing so you have a shot. That's not a winning position you want to get in. That's not a good winning formula. But Joe Burrow beat Patrick Mahomes in 2021. He got to the Super Bowl. They can do it again. That's not how it works, bro. But no, let's keep living out the past like we want to do that. Let's not live in the present. Because in the present, Cincinnati ain't done nothing. Nada. Floor is yours.
So you're right. Joe Burrow and the Bengals have elevated to a level in the AFC whereas though most people have them right under Kansas City because they beat Kansas City in 2021. Whereas though like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, other quarterbacks in the AFC, Justin Herbert, they haven't been able to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I have no idea why the Bengals are in the Super Bowl tier. Like I don't even understand it. Their defense is like terrible. Their defense is ass. They were ass last year.
It's going to get worse.
Exactly. If you don't have Trey Hendrickson and the first round pick that you drafted, like you're not going to have your two best pass rushers, and you're going to go out and do the same thing. They cut Jermaine Pratt, the linebacker. I'm not saying he's the best linebacker in the NFL, but I thought he's a solid to good linebacker in the NFL. He's a solid player. So for me, I don't understand why the Bengals are the most egregious on here. I disagree with the Commanders, but I can get the Commanders. They were in the NFC Championship game. The Bengals didn't even make the playoffs. Now I think Joe Burrow is a top 4 quarterback. Remember last year we did our top 10 quarterbacks. We will do that again going into this season as well. Joe Burrow is a top 4 quarterback.
That's
now
right.
you rank him at between. I don't think he's the best quarterback, but let's say you rank him between 2, 3, and 4. That's subjective. If you have him second, you got Lamar third, Josh Allen fourth, Josh Allen second, Lamar third, him fourth, Lamar second, Josh Allen third, Joe Burrow third. However you want to do it, it's fine. It's whatever you like. But the Bengals are not they're not Super Bowl tier because their defense is terrible. Like I said before, their defense is ass. So you can't. I don't know how you're going to make the Super Bowl with a 100 offense and a negative 10 defense. It's not going to happen. The NFL is too good for that. It's too offensive oriented already for you to have a bad defense. Teams are just going to take advantage of that. So I understand your point about the Bengals. They're the most egregious team on the Super Bowl tier only because of the situation that they're in. But for me, Washington, I think people drank a little bit too much of that Kool-Aid. For me, I get it. They had a good year. They played Tampa in the first round. Chris Godwin was hurt. Chris Godwin didn't play in that game, in the playoff game. They played Detroit. Detroit was playing me, you, my son, his homeboys in the playoff game. I mean, they were signing dudes off the street. And then when they played a team with they had, the players that they were supposed to have lined up playing, Yeah, they got destroyed by the Eagles. The game was over before it even got started. So for me, I think the Commanders and the Bengals are too high on this list. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching Highly Opinionated. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is sponsored by Wolves of War. In some of the episodes, you can see my co-host and Ross wearing a brand called Wolves of War. Wolves of War is our first sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, and we are so thankful to have those guys sponsoring Highly Opinionated. Thank you very much. The actual meaning of Wolves of War is that it represents having a strong path behind you through the battles of life. With the right people behind you, you can get through anything. You guys see the link for Wolves of War? Make sure you guys click on the link, shop, great apparels, t-shirts, sweatsuits, whatever you want, they have. Once again, Wolves of War. Make sure you guys go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. That segment of sports. This week's edition of Let's Talk About It. Kevin Durant has been traded from the Phoenix Suns to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick in the 2025 draft, and 5 second-round picks. Would you like to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll take it.
You'll take it first? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Before you go, just your thoughts on the trade, thought process on how the trade went down. Do you think Houston gave up a lot to get Kevin Durant? Just your overall reaction to the Kevin Durant to Houston Rockets trade.
Yeah, Houston was on the list of teams that Kevin Durant wanted to get traded to. Phoenix said it was taken into consideration when they were talking about their deal, but they also wanted to make sure they got good compensation back for KD. Kevin Durant is still an elite player in this game. He, in his sleep, can average 25. One of the most, if not the most prolific scorer we've ever seen in the history in the NBA. He still can do it. So you're going to have to give up something for a guy like that. I'm surprised that Houston made that deal. You and I talked a little bit off camera about this. We thought there were some other teams out there that probably could have made better deals and probably presented better deals. One team that shocked me that didn't really get more aggressive was the Miami Heat. You didn't want to give up Haywood Highsmith, Jaime Jaquez, and Ware for Kevin Durant to pair with Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. That kind of surprised me because you look at the Eastern Conference, the way that the floodgates have flat out opened since Jason Tatum's injury, Damian Lillard's injury, and now it's unfortunately Tyrese Halliburton getting injured in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. The gates were open for Miami to possibly make a big move and challenge for the Eastern Conference crowd next year. They decided they didn't want to do it. That surprised me. But getting to Houston, Jalen Green was a piece that was talked about getting moved for like a good amount of months now. He severely underperformed in the playoffs for what his talent, what you thought you would expect from him from his talent. There's been rumors that he's really talented, but we're not sure about his focus and all that stuff. So that's the off the court stuff. I'm not gonna get into the dude's personal life, even though we kind of know what's going on there. But you hear those things, it's not good for a young player. Because now we see that Jalen Green, the Suns are looking to move him immediately. They don't even want him on the team. That's not a good sign to me. So Houston got off of that situation. You still keep Şengün. You keep Fred VanVleet, who's a champion level starting point guard. You keep Steven Adams. You got Jabari Smith Jr. And most importantly, you keep Amin Thompson. I've been on the record about Amin Thompson. There was no shot in hell that I'm trading that kid.
You think he's a star in the making, bro? I know.
I do. He's got to get that. He's got to get his jump shot more consistent to take the next step. Because right now, look at Houston. At best, they'll probably make it to the second round. Now, the only thing that could change for me is if this isn't their last move of the offseason, that they make more moves. I think they need as much respect as I have for Fred VanVleet. I think you got to do a little better at starting point guard for him. If he comes off the bench, I think that serves him a lot better. Even though Fred VanVleet's a tough SOB. Like, he reminds me a lot of Kyle Lowry, just a real short point guard, but tough. Like, he defensively, he gets after it. And he's a champion with the Toronto Raptors. So he has experience that's going to be needed there. But I think you need like another starting caliber point guard there. And the bench. I got to see like what they do with the bench, because the bench can't consist of Easton and Steven Adams, and that's it. As we just saw this past postseason, the team with great depth is the one that goes far in the playoffs and wins it. So there's a lot of questions for me there with Houston. I was surprised that KD got to the Rockets. I thought he would go elsewhere, even though the Rockets were on his list. This makes it more interesting. Makes things a little more interesting in the West. You wonder what Phoenix is going to do now. There's been rumors that Bradley Beal could be next to get traded, even though we know he has a no trade clause or whatever. They're trying to start up rumors that D Book could be next. I want Devin Booker to get traded because I think he deserves better than what Phoenix has given him. But I don't think that's going to happen because they love Devin Booker in Arizona. They think he's a cornerstone of their franchise. They want to build him a statue one day and all that. But this was a move that the Rockets are making, thinking that they can contend sooner than later for the Western Conference crown. This is a team that finished, second in the Western Conference. A lot of people, including you and me, were not high on the Rockets, thinking that they would lose in the first round, which they did to the Golden State Warriors, although it was an entertaining 7-game series. But KD makes the Rockets more interesting. Like I said, I don't have them going any farther in the second round, but we'll see how the chemistry shakes out and what other moves they may make as we get started in the NBA offseason. Floor is yours, my friend.
Whew, I'm going to need this. So do you think the Rockets gave up too much to get Kevin Durant? I know he's 37 years old. Do you think they gave up too much?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
okay.
You think maybe keep Dylan Brooks for defensive purposes? All right, maybe, but he's still Kevin Durant. Like you got to give up some capital for that guy. Even at this stage in his career, he's still an elite scorer that can easily give you 27 to 30 points a game. And if you think you can compete in the West and get that guy, Ime Udoka wanted KD. So, and Ime Udoka is proven to be an elite coach. He's already built the culture in Houston so quickly. You imagine that KD could help him take that next step. So I think Houston gave up what was necessary for a guy like KD.
Okay. Ross, put that graphic up again. I'm gonna read this trade out. I want people to see this. The Phoenix Suns are trading 2-time NBA Finals MVP Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick in the draft, and 5 second-round picks. How many first-round picks was Desmond Bane traded for?
4.
Who's a better player?
Kevin Durant.
Rudy Gobert got a couple years ago. Rudy Gobert got traded for 5 first-round draft picks. Kevin Durant just got traded for 1. Who's a better player?
KD.
Listen, I'm gonna address your points about because some of the things you said I disagree with. So I'm gonna address those in a second. Let me make this very, very clear. And Ross, you can put the camera on me when I say this. The Houston Rockets traded fucking Scooby Snacks to get Kevin Durant. Fucking Scooby Snacks. Scooby fucking Snacks. And y'all know this. Jalen Green, right? Jalen Green. That's the big guy in this trade, right? John told you. Listen, I'm not going to talk nobody about this is a sports show. I'm not going to shit on nobody's personal life. I mean, his personal life ain't bad. Obviously, we know he has a baby with Dre and Michelle. He has a great life. Maybe not the choice I would have made, but I can't tell somebody what they should do or what they shouldn't do. So, man, salute that brother for doing what he felt was right. Cool. Man, Jalen Green in a 7-game series in the playoffs. I understand this was his first playoff series. He had 7 points in game 1. He was 3 for 15. Game 2, he had 38, 13 of 25. Game 3, he had 9 points, 4 of 11. Game 4, he had 8 points, 3 of 8. Game 5, he had 11 points, 3 of 8. Game 6, he had 12 points, 3 out of 11. Game 7 at home, the man had 8 points on 8 shot attempts. The Houston Rockets, the Houston Rockets didn't give up. They gave up Scooby Snacks. Scooby Snacks to get Kevin Durant. You talk about the bench that the Houston Rockets have, right? I'll give you. They do need to get an upgrade behind Fred VanVleet. Preferably somebody middle-aged to young. That would definitely help them out. I would look at a name like a Tyus Jones. He would be perfect to come in. He played with Kevin Durant already in Phoenix. Tyus Jones. I think his name's Tyus. One of the Jones brothers. They played from Duke. Played with Kevin Durant in Phoenix. I feel like that would be a good point guard for them. Somebody in that realm. If you can get somebody a little better, but somebody in that realm that can be the backup point guard to Fred VanVleet. Sir, I love this roster. I love what the Rockets still have left. The Rockets still have ammo to go get a bigger fish than even Kevin Durant. And the biggest fish available would be Giannis Antetokounmpo. Sir, they still have Tari Eason. I like him. They still have Alfred Sengun, obviously like him. Reed Shepard was the third pick in the draft. You still got him. You still got Jabari Smith Jr. You still got your boy. You love Amen Thompson. You still got him. You still got Fred VanVleet. And you got my boy, Cam Whitmore. And you got Steven Adams as your center. To go behind Sengun, that's a defensive type center. Man, the Rockets, I feel like they won this trade. I mean, they stole Kevin Durant. You gave up Jalen Green, a brother that had more single point games in the playoffs than he had double digit figure point games in the playoffs. Think about that for a second. It's a 7-game series. He had more under 10 games than he did above 10 games in the playoffs. You traded the number 10 pick in the draft. I mean, I don't know who the number 10 pick in the draft going to be. Most people, your boy from Maryland, Queen, he probably get picked before that. So I don't know what the number 10 pick in the draft is going to be. It might be that Malawak guy from Duke. Okay, fine. He's a good player. But is he worth the number 10 pick in the draft? I don't know. So they got Kevin Durant for fucking Scooby snacks. Like, are you serious? Like, bro, you didn't have to trade Amen Thompson, Sengun. You keep Reed Shepard. You just replaced Jalen Green with Reed Shepard. That's the guard minutes right there. So it's like, and the Suns really went for this. And again, people, y'all know, yes, I'm a Spurs fan. Yes, I was a little disappointed. Not going to lie to you. I was a little hurt. I'm not going to lie to you. But, like, reading this deal, just as a pure person who watches basketball, the Rockets won this. I mean, they stole Kevin Durant. If Jalen Green could turn out to be whatever, he ain't never going to be Kevin Durant. Dylan Brooks is a 3-and-D guy. That's what he is. The number 10 pick in the draft, we don't know. They got 5 second-round picks. You don't know what they are. They tradable pieces, could be whatever. So I love what the Rockets did. Now, I agree with you. The way I agree with you at is that I don't necessarily think this move puts them in championship contention. We have to see how the rest of the offseason works out and see how that plays out. But they were the number 2 seed this year. So do I think they can win a playoff series? Yes, I do. I think they can win a playoff series. And then depending on who they play in the second round, that could be a problem. But this notion that you're talking about the bench, oh, no, they got a bench. I like their bench. They just need to play. Bro, their bench is young, and they really don't play like that. Let them guys play. The Whitmores, the Easons, the Reed Shepards. That's 3 guys right there off the bench. So you got Steven Adams. That's 4. So that's not. You have a 9-man rotation right there. I'm assuming Fred VanVleet to start, Thompson to start, KD, Jabari Smith, and then Sengun. So that's 5 right there. Then you got your 4 guys off the bench. That's 9 guys right there. That's the playoff rotation. Essentially, that's your playoff rotation right there. Most playoff rotations are either between 8 to 10 at the max. Well, I'd say 11 at the absolute max. But your playoff rotation is probably between 8 to 10 guys. So I love this move for the Rockets. As far as the Phoenix Suns, they aimed high. They tried to go for a championship. It didn't work out. So now they got to sell low. And the fact that they're trying to trade Jalen Green tells you everything you need to know. They wasn't happy with the deal that they got because there's no way I'm going to trade Kevin Durant and I'm basically trying to flip the guy that I just got. And one more thing, Bradley Beal has a no trade clause, which means he decides where he wants to go. The Suns screwed.
They are. This trade told me a lot. It's told me that they don't believe the number 10 pick is worth keeping. They don't believe there's a player out there that's going to help change their fortune to keep the pick. That's why they were so willing to give it up. And Phoenix, it looks like to me that they're starting to sell the farm because you accepted the trade knowing that you didn't want Jalen Green anyway, so you moved on from him. And again, the number 10 pick, are we sure that's going to be a franchise changing type of pick? By all accounts, it looks like it's not going to be. So what happens with Devin Booker? What happens with Bradley Beal? Because now the Suns didn't get better from this trade; they got worse. So it's like, what do you do next? Do you blow it up and actually start from scratch? What do you do with this draft pick? So many questions that I have with Phoenix. The owner and the GM combination have not been like the most praised as of late. So it kind of furthers those questions now. Do they know what they're doing? That's what it comes out for me.
Yeah, right now, no, they don't know what they're doing. They're trying to go after piece after piece after piece. Going after Kevin Durant was a great move. Going after Bradley Beal was a dumbass move. You didn't need Bradley Beal. You already had Devin Booker. So my point is that, no, you can see they don't know what they're doing. If they did, they wouldn't be in the position that they're in. But to trade Kevin Durant for Jalen Green and then you're trying to flip him tells you everything you know. That's what I'm saying. They got Kevin Durant for Scooby Snacks. We'll have Chase on later on in the show. I'll let him. He'll obviously speak on what he thinks about the move. That's fine. But bro, they gave up Scooby snacks. I'm sorry. I gave up more. Sweet, yeah. You can't if you people that have kids. If you have a newborn child or a baby, you can't find somebody to watch your babysitter for that low ass price. I mean, for real. Like, you can't even find that. So, man, what the hell? Like, you just gave this man away. Because the best player you got back, you don't want. Like, it's ridiculous. So, like I said, the Rockets, I don't think they're a championship contending team yet. We obviously have to see how things play out. But for me, to get Kevin Durant for a ham and cheese sandwich, man, shit, hell yeah, I do that too. I do that too. A ham and old cheese, John, old cheese. Fuck the young cheese, old cheese. Because I know Jalen Green's supposed to be young. No, that's old cheese. Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green. You don't know what the hell that is. You don't know what that is. 5, bro. Desmond Man got traded for 5 first-round picks. This man got traded for 5 second-round picks. And y'all telling me they gave up too much. Shit, bro, where the fuck do I go to do that at? Where can I go to do that at? You know what? I got in the wrong business. I really did. Because I'm trying to be a sports show, sports announcer, sports commentator, whatever. Man, I need to be an NBA GM. Because these GMs out here robbing. They robbing people every day. Rudy Gobert got traded for 5 first-round draft picks. The Thunder won the NBA championship. They're still benefiting from Paul George, his ass. Paul George and left the team that they traded him to. They still benefiting from his ass. Come on, man. And
bro, what kind of cheese you get with the ham and cheese?
Oh, old cheese, bad cheese, stale cheese, cottage cheese. That's what it is, cottage cheese. Come on, man. They traded nothing to get Kevin Durant. And y'all sitting there like, yeah, not you. People, yeah, I don't know if the Rockets, I feel like the Rockets gave up too much. Yeah, you out your damn mind. I should come slap the hell out you. What the hell you mean they gave up too much? Jalen Green is giving up too much? Jalen Green giving up too much. Oh, yeah, we just can't. That's too much. Come on, man. Stop, man. God damn, man. Fucking old ass cheese. Old cheese, bro. They traded old cheese for Kevin Durant. Come on, man. Crazy, man. Come on. We know Ime Udoka wanted KD so bad. He was like, bro, no, K told KD. No, you're not going to Minnesota. You're not going to Miami. Miami don't want you. We want you. And we going to give up this bullshit ass offer to get you. And that's what they did.
Miami's still crazy for not going after KD. That's all I'm going to say. They're crazy. Bro,
they didn't want to trade Haywood Highsmith. Like, bro, are you serious? Are you serious? Like, come on, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I got in the wrong profession. I need to be an NBA general manager because I had that job for a lifetime. Because you ain't gonna hustle me. You ain't gonna hustle me in broad day. Like, hell no, you ain't. You better come with them with them what they call them, the YNs, right? You better wear what them YNs got on with them ski masks. That's how you gonna rob me. You ain't gonna rob me in broad day. Like, I don't give a damn who you are. You ain't robbing me in broad day. Like, fuck out of here. Oh my God, Joe.
I bet be getting gourmet cheese, my ham and cheese sandwiches. You gonna do that shit?
Bro, what? Old cheese, bro. Stale cheese, bro. Stale. Come on, man. Come on, bro. And then people, they gave up too much. No, they did. No, they didn't.
That's stupid. Whoever said that is no. It's Kevin Durant, bro. Like, he still is he's really freaking good. I know he's not LeBron, because of, again, where what he did to get his championships. I get all that. He's still the best scorer in the history of the freaking NBA. Nobody can score better than him. So let's get that out of the way. They gave up what was necessary. Dare I say they didn't give up enough for KD.
You could make a case. Kevin Durant is a top 20, 25 player of all time. And when I say, I'm saying that bare minimum. Like, you can have him higher up on the list. You feel me? Like, Kevin Durant is a hell of a player. Like, yes, I'm trading that for him. I'm trading that for LeBron. I'm Kawhi when he was Kawhi. I'm trading that for Kawhi. I'm trading that for them. Giannis, yes. I'm trading that. I don't want the Spurs to give up everything for Giannis, but I get it. Like, if they did that, I totally understand why you would do it. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. But, man, come on, man. Like, again, man, like, it's Kevin Durant. Like, yes. They kept Reed Shepard, kept Easton, kept Whitmore, kept Thompson, kept Sengun, kept Jabari Smith Jr. And they gave up a guy that really was struggling in the playoffs. They gave up a 3-and-D guy, and they gave up 6 draft picks. Come on, bro. That's not too much at all. I would do that today. Do it yesterday. Do it tomorrow. Congratulations to the Houston Rockets on stealing Kevin Durant. Job well done. You stole that man in broad daylight in the middle of the day, game 7 before the NBA Finals. That's a hell of a job. I ain't never seen a thief get away in broad daylight in my life. Congratulations to the Houston Rockets.
Oh yes, I have. I've seen that before. Let me take you back to 2008. Once upon a time, Mitch Kupchak and the LA Lakers pulled off the heist of a century by getting Pau Gasol for Kwame Brown.
Hold on. Let me say this. You know that. That's true. Marc Gasol was in that trade.
But still.
No, I know. Nobody didn't know who Marc Gasol was, but like Marc Gasol was a good player. So I can understand that. At the time, it was Kwame and Pau, yes. But it really was Marc because he was a draft pick in there for Pau Gasol. Okay, fine. This worse than that.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Because Marc Gasol was in that trade. I just don't see Jalen Green. I know what Dylan Brooks is. I just don't see Jalen Green, I don't see them ever being Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant right now is better than all the players that the Suns got back, including future assets. So for me, I just think, like I said, I think the Rockets stole them. Congratulations on the Rockets for stealing them. Before we take a break, I just wanted to mention that the NBA draft is Wednesday. The first round of the NBA draft is Wednesday night on ESPN and ABC. Round 2 is Thursday night on ESPN at 8 o'clock. You guys enjoyed the NBA draft this week. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching Highly Opinionated. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is brought to you by Edibly Airy. Enjoy the heightened experience of THC edibles in a whole new way. At Edibly Airy, our freeze-dry edibles available in 100 milligram, 200 milligram, 300 milligram, 400 milligram will give you the buzz you crave with a flavor you won't forget. Available in 3 different flavors: watermelon sunset, tropical fruit, and berry. To place orders, please visit the website at ediblyairy.com. While you're there at ediblyairy.com, use a promotion code. You guys see the promotion code on the screen. $ Highly Airy, $. Again, $ Highly Airy, $ for 20% off your first purchase. Follow us on IG at Edibly Airy for new product releases and monthly hookups. Must be 21 and over to purchase. Edibly Airy, the best freeze-dry edibles out. Go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. As you can see, we have a special guest on the screen, a friend of the show, a man we've been trying to get on for weeks and months now. A good friend of mine, a coach, a mentor, just an all-around good guy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Chase Cormier. What's up, Chase? How you doing, sir?
What's up, everything good on this end?
Man, it's good having you, bro. I appreciate you doing this, man. You could be doing anything with your time, so we greatly appreciate you coming on, man.
Man, I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate the invitation and the love.
Absolutely. As always, I ask every guest, bro. First question, what do they have going on? Anything they want to shout out? Just let the world know what you got going on.
Well, right now I do a lot of training for the kids, elementary, high school, middle school, college. Besides the training, I coach my first grade AAU team with Team Melo, class 2036. Very good team. Bunch of kids I've been training since they're about 4 years old. They're 7 now. Gearing them up for nationals and kind of taking them on that road as they get older and trying to, get them to be the best players and create a good culture for this basketball world in the Baltimore area. Besides coaching, I mentor the kids as well. I train them. At my alma mater, I'm at Milford, so I'm hands-on with the kids in the community at all points and all circles and facets of the world right now.
Got you. Go ahead, JJ.
Yeah, Chase, obviously, welcome to the show, man. Appreciate what you're doing in the Baltimore community as well. What would you say inspired you to get into coaching along with the mentor that you've been doing?
I would say me traveling outside of Baltimore. So when I went to prep school and going to Grambling State at the prep school, I kind of seen other things that I feel like I could bring back and connect those dots early on with the youth so they don't have to go through any different types of um, things they have to, if it's preseason workouts, if it's mental things, physical, whatever the case may be. I just want to give them to be the most prepared in the basketball universe before they get to those next steps.
No, most definitely. You're getting them early, which is definitely a plus for these kids. So they already are starting out with a leg up, and those are the building blocks of building a good future. So props to you on that for sure. Do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself coaching wise? Do you see yourself staying where you are, kind of, or do you see yourself starting to move up? In the age bracket, maybe eventually getting to high school. What do you think?
I can see myself moving up. I really enjoy it. I'm passionate about it. I feel as though the elementary school, the babies, they are easy to soak up the knowledge. They're eager to learn new things. They're more coachable, and you can shape them and mold them better than you come into a high school and kind of like they already have some bad habits and it's hard to break. So I would say the high school kids probably a little bit more stubborn, but elementary school, they're willing to learn, they're eager to learn, they play hard. It's a real joy coaching them, So I can see myself moving up in the next couple of years for sure, but I'm always going to stay with my babies.
I heard that, man. Like, again, props to
Mhm.
you, bro. Hey, getting these kids early, developing good habits early. That's what it takes to make a great basketball player. So props to you on that, bro.
So,
Chase,
yes, sir.
obviously, you said you coach now. Who were some of your coaching mentors? Like, who are some people you looked up to that got you
Some
that made you think about, like, damn, okay, maybe I can coach one day.
I would say Coach Highly starting off in high school. Coach Highly is one of the coaches that I believe believed in me before I did. So shouts out to L. Highly. Besides Coach Highly, I had a prep school coach as well. That kind of, he was like Coach Highly, but he was a more stern. He'd get on you, he'd cuss you out, he'd get in your ass, whatever the case may be. But that was one of my favorite coaches. He brought the best out of me. That's Coach Huckabee at Fishburne Military School, and then my college coach as well. That coached me for my last 3 years. He was another coach that got on me, and that's Sean Walker. I believe he's at the D2 level now. But those three guys, like they're great men, great role models, great mentors. Go about things the right way within life and within the journey of coaching and going about things. So those are the three major coaches that kind of had a real impact on me.
Got you. Coaching 7U, and like you said, you call them your babies. You get them young.
Right.
You
Hmm.
get to basically nourish them and train them how you think a basketball player should be trained. What are some of the
Yeah.
things you look for? What are some of the things I shouldn't say look for? What are some of the things you're trying to instill into a young basketball player so they don't make the same mistakes that maybe you did, John did, I did, Ike did,
Hmm.
Ryan,
Hmm.
Smooth, Dylan, Chase, etc.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
what's some of those things you're trying to instill in them at a young age?
Well, one, I want you to be coachable. Sometimes you are going to get criticized. It's going to be constructive criticism. How to handle that, and take that into, as more of a stepping stone and using it as a positive motivation instead of looking at the negative. So, one, I want to be coachable. Two, I want that IQ to be high. I want you to think, why would you make that pass? Or I swing the ball around because I know if we swing the ball around, defense moves, and I can get an easy, sweep through going to the basket. So besides being coachable, IQ, I want you to play extremely hard. I feel like right now in just in the Baltimore area, basketball is kind of like at a low, definitely in the county aspect of it. But I want to bring back the culture that we brought, like Dunbar versus Milford Mill down Lake Clifton. It's high intensity, high volume. You have to perform in front of a lot of people and on a big stage when the lights is bright. So that's why I'm trying to get these kids to understand at a young age. So once they get older, nothing will be able to distract them or alter them from what they are trying to do.
Gotcha. Go ahead, JJ.
The one that sticks out to me is playing hard. We I think a lot of players, especially like as they get older, they think they're playing hard, but there's playing hard and there's playing smart, and there's a way that you can, work smarter, not harder. So I think
Right.
like a lot of kids like today they think they're working hard, but they're not really. They're working hard, but not being intelligent on the court. Like you
Right.
said, the why. Why am I making this pass? What
Hmm.
is it about this particular play? Why does it work? Why do I do it? those questions need to flow through like young basketball players' heads, like, because early on we're just going with the flow, like we're following. Coach says this, I'm gonna do that. I don't really think twice about why we're doing it or anything like that. It's like, hey, coach said make this pass. This is how the play go. We don't really sit here and think, okay, but why does this work? What is it about this play that works against this defense? What are the tendencies of the person that I'm going against, what I'm defending him or going against him on offense? What are his weaknesses? What are his tendencies? The details of the game are so essential, and I think aren't emphasized enough with younger basketball players. That's why we see like a lot of highly talented basketball players, but the IQ part is still in development because, again, it's just in the details. It's the falling in love with the details and going through that process, not trying to find the quickest way out of it, going through the process as it should be.
Right. I definitely agree with you with that. And just like, on the circuit now, it was what I'm saying. I'm trying to create, we are trying to create Baltimore bred student athletes, but we want them to compete. We want them to stand out. I don't care where you go, DC, New York, Philadelphia. We have some of the toughest kids um, in the United States. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like on those platforms, if we give them the tools they need at an early age, the skill set, the IQ, the culture, instilling that chip on their shoulders, we will dominate most of this, and I think that's what we're trying to bring back as far as the culture here. And when they get to high school, I think you will see a difference between high school now and in the next, what is that, about 10 years, 8
12.
years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get them early, get them in the system of, okay, form shooting, ball handling, handling pressure, quick decision making, IQ plays early on. So by the time they get to that middle school, high school, they should be head and shoulders above anybody else.
Stay with the fundamentals. Stay with the
Right.
fundamentals and build from there. That's how you become a great basketball player. One of the greatest players that we ever had, Tim Duncan, Mr. Fundamental, became a Hall of Famer doing that. So it can happen.
Right.
Chase, coaching for Team Melo, obviously you don't do it by yourself. Talk about, I know you have an assistant or two. Talk about the assistants that help you. A coach is not just a coach by himself. A coach has assistants. So just talk about your staff. Talk about the team that you have with you that helps make you the good coach that you are.
Well, I always have TP with me. TP is my right hand. His son is on my team as well. He's going to be definitely a key piece in his class. If he's not top, if he's not top five, I think something is wrong. And really, I think he's the number one person in his class now that just off the first years I've seen ability, athleticism, being able to read and react as far as getting steals on anything. He's bigger, he's stronger than a lot of the kids. So Lil Troy is somebody y'all should definitely, look for in the next couple of years. But TP is on my staff. We train together, we coach together, things of that nature. That's my right hand man. I have Coach Mel as well. His brother's name is Bryce. He's on my team. Coach Mel works with the bigs, rebounding, bumping them on their layups and things of that nature. He brings like a comforting for the kids. If I get on them, criticize them hard, maybe we'll send them down to Coach Mel. He'll talk them up and tell them, give them some positive feedback and what we need them to do. And by the time they get back in the game, they know exactly what to do. I have a Coach Dion as well. He coaches our second grade team, and I help him on the second grade team. So he's on our bench. Another guy we're grooming up, to take over this coaching thing for our second grade. So with that being said, I just named what, three, that's four coaches all in all. We hands on in practice, everything high intensity, break them down in the little stations. We can do, whatever the case may be, and tackle all the team philosophies we want them to have. So that's my coaching staff. They help me with everything I need. They know I'm here for them if they need me as well. But we definitely, are trying to push that culture of basketball.
So do you coach with the same intensity that you used to play with? Obviously, I used to come to a lot of your games, used to come watch you play. So do you coach the same way you used to play with
I
that
am
intensity?
I am definitely passionate about coaching. I hear it all the time. It gives like a college feel with the practices and my expectations and what I want from them. I believe if you set the bar high, they have no excuse but to try to reach it. They don't have any other options. I ask them all the time, "You want to be good or great?" They tell me great. I say hard work, they say dedication. They know exactly what the standard is. They know what I expect from them. They know I'm not gonna, steer them the wrong way. And I believe they trust in the process and what we're doing. So that makes it much easier. And I have a good rapport with them. We've been knowing each other since they was 4. So for the last 3 years, you've been training under me. So it made sense to make me your coach.
Got you. Your time at Milford as a
Hmm.
basketball player, one state
Hmm.
championship, obviously one counties, one state championships. Let's just go back to that. You talk about your time at Milford playing basketball, playing in the jungle.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Playing at Milford. I really didn't expect me to have the career I did at Milford. It was more so of like, oh, okay, Milford's down the street. I'm a community guy. I walk to school. You've been in my house, JD. So I didn't really plan on. I'm like, I'm gonna know a lot of people, but I didn't think it would become what it was. So freshman year, I'm walking in. Of course, trying out for JV. Most of the people already know me in there from Crusader Nation with Coach Max. Shout out to Crusader Nation. So JV, yeah, it was it was for Coach Frank. He still works in the building today. So it was like an eye opener. I seen the culture. I seen the Woodlawn and Milford rivalry. I seen the Randallstown and Milford rivalry. I seen Newtown. So I'm just like, oh, okay, like this is somewhere I really want to be. So freshman year, I don't think it was my best year, but sophomore year, I made a little jump. Coach High had a lot of faith in me. We had a
Definitely
lot
did.
of scores on that we had a lot of scores on that sophomore team. So we had Ike, we had Nemo, we had Ted, we had Jimmy, we had Troy Branch. We had a lot of key pieces. Ryan Jackson, Phil. We had a lot of key pieces. So I believe I fit in because I was more of a selfless person. So, pure point guard, I'm gonna set the table for you. I'm gonna make it as easy as possible. If it's gonna be a dunk, a layup, a wide open three, I'm gonna make it happen. Nobody's really taking the ball from me, So, sophomore year, I was hesitant to play varsity, but Coach Holly really kind of insisted. So, I'm like, okay, coach, like, I don't want to be on the bench. These guys can play. I know exactly who they are. But they they trusted in me, and that's what kind of gave me that push. Shout out to Nemo. Nemo took me under his wing. He was probably one of the first people besides Ike and Tev, of course. But Nemo is one of those guys that, oh, okay, we go to my house, we're gonna play 2K before the game, or took me on his wing, that's what you need to do, or trust yourself, or be aggressive. He was one of those people that took me in like a big brother role, I would say, my sophomore year. And of course, that Randallstown game my sophomore year, county championship, down to the wire, last second shot, boom, driving, kick the Nemo, of course, boom. Crowd go crazy. I think that's what started it. So that county championship right there, I knew we was gonna win states. Nobody could. That's probably one of the most talented teams I ever played on was my sophomore year team, for sure. But that next year, my junior year's team with TP, the additions of TP, Smooth. We had Ted, Ike, Cottrell,
Mm.
myself, Phil, Ryan, so DJ,
Yeah.
so like
Shout out
that
to Oh my God.
we had a great core. I trained DJ Sun, shout out to Mills. But we had a great core of guys that been playing together for 1, 2 years. So it was a well-oiled machine. And the guys we added all play AAU together. So we played in team camps over the summer. We traveled together. We always with each other in school. We with each other after school, study hall, practice. If we going out, you're gonna see about 7 of us together. So
Absolutely.
that junior year team was very special. And I would say that was the best put together team as far as connecting. Everybody knew exactly where they was gonna be at. Everybody knew exactly what we were gonna do. Um, that was probably one of my favorite teams I played on. Everybody had the same mindset. Everybody, kind of put egos to the side. It was a sharing the pot type of thing, for sure. But that was the second state championship, second county championship, second regional championship right there. So of course, seeing y'all walk into it, I'm trying to go 3 for 3. So, we had a lot of additions my senior year, because we lost so much. We lost all those players I just named to you. The only person that was coming back was kind of like me and Cottrell. So we add Big Isaiah that went to St. Joe. Shout out to Zay. We add Artis from Franklin, high flyer. We add a Kyle Thomas and Tyson Smith from Owens Mills. You know, Tyson was my guy. Tyson hit me up right at the end of our junior year. I got Tyson in there, So we had Bruce, and Tay and Dedrick coming up from JV. We had a lot of pieces. Kenny transferred, Jawan transferred from private school. So we had a lot of guys, but the camaraderie was there for sure, but it was just a bunch of mixed pieces. I feel like the talent level on paper was out the world. The talent level was crazy, so the expectation was very crazy. But it was a fun year. I would say that for my senior year, it was a fun year. We did work hard. We beat Dunbar down Lake Clifton, number one versus number two. That's one of the most electrifying games we've been in. We set the standard for Baltimore culture. We played Patterson at Milford. First time Milford got packed out inside the new gym. That's probably one of the most latest games I ever played in. Unfortunately, we lost in the regionals, but it was definitely a tough game. I think I needed that. I needed that loss to kind of humble myself and put that chip back on my shoulder for when I left. So now in prep school, I'm mad about senior year. So prep school, I'm turning it up. In college, I still got that chip on my shoulder. So high school was great. Milford, they kind of shaped me to the point where as though I felt like nothing could beat me. I've been in every scenario. We're still tight to this day. I still talk to the players that I played with. Meach, I forgot to add Meach into that sophomore year as well. But all those guys, we still come together every once in a while, take a picture, go see Coach Highly, go see Coach Green,
Coach
come
Green,
back,
yeah.
talk to the Milford Mill players currently, pop out at some games. The love is still there, the brotherhood is still there. So Milford, that's a real family. I know people always say, "Oh, yeah, we're a family," but that's a family and brotherhood that we built and we still have, and we still stay in communication. And if we pop out, we might play, and it's still the same thing. So Milford is definitely, home is where the heart is. That's where my heart is.
Absolutely. Before I move on to the next thing, I just want to say this because obviously I was around you guys a lot.
Yes.
Like y'all definitely
Yeah.
were a close knit group and still are a close knit group, and y'all should be celebrated for that. It's a lot of high
Yeah.
school teams, a lot of players. They pack here, they pack there, or AAU or vice versa. Like I'm gonna hang with this guy, hang with that guy. No, y'all were a close knit group. Y'all definitely
Yes,
hung
we
out.
were.
Y'all
Yes.
definitely still hang out to this day and still are in communication with each other. In fact, a lot of times I'm around at least 2 or 3 people at one time. So
Uh-huh.
so
Uh-huh.
y'all definitely should be celebrated for that. Them games, like you said, man, they were
Yeah.
legend times at the jungle. From the old gym to the new gym. I only been in the new gym like a couple times.
Hmm.
After that they basically got the new gym after we had graduated. So
Yep.
you found me? So I only been in there a couple times, but again, just the camaraderie that you guys had, the talent that you guys had. I mean, it was only a few teams in the state could match what y'all had. A lot of them teams were in the
Right.
MIW. You found me?
Right.
A lot of teams were
Right.
in. I always said this, Chase, and you know this.
Hmm.
Baltimore County, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was over. Like it was over. It was
Yeah.
y'all guaranteed to do what y'all was going to do. So it just came to okay. Can y'all play well enough to get regionals? Can y'all play well enough to get states? And y'all would just
Yeah.
talent. Yeah, bro, this is the thing.
Mhm.
Talent beats hard work. Y'all had talent and hard workers. That's the thing. It's
Mhm.
like y'all had really hard work. Like the Ike, Ryan, Chase, Hughes, Smooth, Meach, Nima, like all you guys wanted to get better. So again, man, you guys should be celebrated for that. And, man, that's why y'all got 2 of them. You found me? In the fact, y'all got 2 of them. You found me? So and you got 2 of them, I should say, back to back. So that should
Yeah.
definitely be celebrated. Go ahead, JJ.
Yeah, we definitely in the books.
Man, I struggled to get one. At my last game in the BCL championship against Mount St. Joe, that was my only championship. I played in the BCL, Calvert Hall, but I always tell Josh this, one of my all-time favorite high school games was the road game at Milford Mill. That was one of my favorite games ever. I mean, like real hostile crowd, and a lot of them knew me because I lived not that far from there. I was living in Randallstown.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people wonder why I ain't go to Randallstown and Milford Mill. I ended up going to Calvert Hall. Like, so to have that kind of like animosity going through like the crowd, I could feel it. But like it got me like more juiced. I was like, yo, this is the kind of shit that I like. Like this is the high school game I wanted. You know, respect to Loyola, St. Francis, and all that. I wish that we played more games like with the Randallstowns and Newtowns and Milford Mills, because that was just like, this is a different atmosphere, man. It was fun. Like, you know, so y'all really had like a special culture over there for sure. I had a good taste of it. You know, I wish we played you guys more, but y'all definitely like just built a great, you know, culture, and it's a real tradition at Milford. Like, this is Baltimore basketball in high school, you know what I'm saying? This is how it should be. So I always respect
and y'all and you guys, I didn't mean to cut you off. You guys started that, you know. You guys gave us the opportunity to start playing these private schools. After you, we played Calvert Hall 2 more years back to back after that.
Yeah,
And when we played you guys, man, y'all had a good team.
Yeah.
You, Damian Lee, Kyle Wise, Cameron was on the wing.
Daniel Jackson.
Coach Russ son was out there, you know. So sophomore year, that's my first game. So you gotta think,
damn, your first game.
My first real game.
Your first game was at Calvert Hall.
My first game was not at Calvert Hall. It was at Milford versus Calvert Hall.
Okay, versus Calvert. Okay,
So you know, that's our first home game. So you know, everybody in the building, oh yeah, we're gonna be there later, Chase. Blah blah blah. I'm like, I'm a sophomore of us. I'm like, man, I hope I get in. This gonna be a tight, you know. So, you know, I happened to get in the game, and I'm nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm nervous. I'm not trying to shoot no layups, big fella down there throwing stuff, you know. So I'm not trying to mess up. I want to play. So I believe like two plays in that game. One of them I happened to pick Kyle Wise, right? But I kind of fouled him. A little bit, and then the ref got in his way, so Kyle just stopped. So when I get the ball, I go get a wide open layup. So I'm like, oh, okay, now my nerves settle down. And then another highlight was we was on a fast break, and I think it was me, Tevin, and Jimmy. And Jimmy was ahead, but somebody was it was a 2-on-1, and Ted was trailing. So I dumped it back to Ted, and Ted dunked and swung on the rim. And that was probably the two highlights I had, you know. And then Damian Lee came through, dunk off a tip in. And I was like, "Ooh." But you know, hey, that it was a good game. I think we needed that. You know, I think we needed that. I I really felt like, you know, oh, okay, we here. We can compete with these private school, BCL, whatever type of games we in. And ever since then, we never cowered down. It's like, okay, the bar set here. Whoever we playing against, we can beat them. DC, it don't matter where they from. Philly teams,
I never agreed.
we're coming in with the confidence.
I never agreed that like people were saying that the Baltimore County schools couldn't compete with the Cavaliers. Like I knew who was there. Like I knew who was at
Right.
Milford. I knew who was at Lake and all them. I was like, nah, these guys
hmm
they can play with us.
hmm
Like I wasn't taking.
hmm
I don't know who started that whole like, you know, notion or whatever like that, but that was false because
Right.
there's so much talent in Baltimore gone spread out that people don't even know about. The gap was very close. So I knew that,
Right.
and I promise you, Chase. Like when I seen that game on the schedule, I was like, "This the one. I can't wait."
Yep. 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 And then another thing, like, you know, shout out to the BCL. You know, my brother played in the BCL. So I grew up watching like Sean Mosley, um, RJ, all those guys, Dante Holmes, South to St. Francis. I
Yep.
watched these games. Eric Atkins, you know. I watched these games, Mount St. Joe and St. Francis or Cardinal games. I seen my brother go to war,
Your
you
brother was a
know.
bad boy. Your brother was a bad boy
Yeah.
back. Oh my
So,
god.
you know, I watched them go to war with these guys. So, you know, when it's my turn, I always felt like, you know, oh shoot, Dylan can do it. Oh yeah, I could do it, you know. So if I had my chance, I'm like, okay, we get to play Mount St. Joe at a team camp down at Mount St. Mary's. Okay, like I'm gonna show them like, yeah, Milford, this ain't Cardinal Gibbons. We gonna touch you. You know, we gonna play physical. Like, yeah, I'm gonna guard up. Like use my brother match up. Yeah, now I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see how tough he really is. So shout out to the BCL. I feel like that made us better. Maybe if we do mix and do a couple games every now and then for the culture, I believe that would be well. I think that'd be good. I already know the city and county are kind of already doing their thing. We played Dunbar this past year at Milford, that I went and watched. So we played Forest Park, I think, the year before. So I could see us kind of mixed and mingling in the city and county. But throw a couple private schools in there. I just want to see the top in Baltimore play against the top in Baltimore, and then okay, let's go out and let's play Philly or
New York.
DC or whatever the case may be. Now let's mix and mingle it better, kind of like the mayors we had back when we were in high school. We need to bring that type of vibe back. Bring them schools down here that really want that bump. I think a classic game I watched at Morgan was Will, Tone, and Lake versus St. Francis. That's one of the best man games I seen.
Yep.
Packed, packed, no bunch of band players. Everything packed with fans. That's one of the
Absolutely.
best games I have been in, and I watched as a spectator, throughout that Mayor's thing. Stan Kid playing, you know, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. I want to bring that culture back to Baltimore.
Agreed.
Yeah, it should the culture should have never left because like
Right,
those games were events that you
right,
wanted to go to. Like think about that.
right.
You said you watching Lake and
Hmm.
St. Francis. You didn't go to Lake, you didn't go to St. Francis. You went.
Right.
That's my point. Like
Yes.
you're gonna go to a game.
Hmm.
Like you're gonna watch if it's good talent and good quality of basketball, you're gonna watch. No matter if it's
Absolutely.
college basketball, pro basketball, high school level basketball, AAU basketball. You feel me? So
Right.
that culture shouldn't have never left. I don't know why it did. We in
I'm not
Baltimore
sure
we
either.
always had our best basketball teams play against each other. I thought, like you said, I thought Calvin Hall when Calvin Hall came to Milford, I thought that opened up the door because it's like, all right, now we're
Yes.
not because it's not like we're scared to go here. Like, okay, like
Right.
it's a basketball game. Like it's not like we're gonna get beat up on our way there. We're gonna get beat up on our way home. Like, not
Yeah.
like that. Like Milford ain't that. Like
Mm-mm.
that was false
No.
conceptions about Milford. Milford's actually a good school.
Right.
So
Actually, absolutely.
my point is that it's like, yeah, like them games should have always been happening. And like I said, that game at Milford should have opened up the door. Like I feel like Calvin Hall and Milford should damn near have a home and home series, if not every year, maybe every 2 to 3 years, or a
Hmm.
lake and a St. Joe or something like that, St. Frank, whatever. Like,
Hmm.
I feel like that should happen
Hmm.
because you want the best basketball out. Like it was again,
Hmm.
that Milford Calvin Hall game was packed. Like that
Yep.
was packed. It wasn't necessarily standing room only, but it damn near was close to standing room only.
Yep.
So like
Yep. They sold that out.
my point is that like, yeah, man, we gotta have the best teams and the best players playing against each other. That's the only way you're gonna get better. So
Yep. Yep. And right now, I would say the cream of crop is St. Francis. They have great guards with TJ and Cam and Josiah. They the cream of crop right now. They holding Baltimore down. I seen them play at Boys Latin this past year in a little mixer. I think they played against the school Holy Cross or something like that from North Carolina, one of those top schools from North Carolina. But that's the type of stuff you want to be in. I seen Mount Carmel cream of the crop as well. They have a guard, Martin A. Hill, that is very, very tough. They have some bigs as well. I think one transfer from City and one might be from the islands. So it's definitely some good basketball here and Baltimore, but we got to really push that narrative. I think a lot of this got very pretty out here, and that's not what type of guys we were back then. It's very pretty, very pretty. Not physical. A lot of jump shots and things of that nature. And I'll speak on that from the county. I go to a lot of the Milford games. The county is like a little bit, well, very much lower than we were, but the county says a lot because those is local kids. So if those local kids are bad, shoot, of course you can have a couple private schools that have a couple guys, but we need to bring up basketball in general. So no matter where it's at in Baltimore, you know, oh they gonna have a couple guys. Oh, it's gonna be some toughness in there. Oh, they know how to play the right way. So it gotta be more spread out, more so. And that's what we try and do now at a young age, raise them the right way, mold their game so wherever they filter to, private school, public school, wherever it is, you fall, you should be able to showcase your ability.
absolutely,
Bring those people down here to watch us play.
absolutely. Before we get you up out of here, bro, the Oklahoma City Thunder won the NBA championship in a game 7 at home against the Indiana Pacers. We want to send our
Mhm.
best condolences and wishes to Tyrese Hollenberg. Obviously, it's
Oh
confirmed he
yeah.
tore his Achilles, so send
Hmm.
best wishes and prayers to him. Just your
Hmm.
thoughts on the NBA season, and your thoughts on the Oklahoma City Oklahoma City Thunder being the 2025 NBA champions?
I would say my thoughts on that were I heard a lot of people call this like, oh, OKC gonna win it. And I didn't see it at first. I'm not one of those bandwagon type of guys. I'm a Joker fan. I thought Joker never was gonna make it. But they played the right way. They have a young culture. They're very coachable. They have a system in place. They get after it on defense. They share the ball on offense. They know who their guy is. They exceptional at their roles. And I'm not surprised. That is a pivotal key piece because yes, SGA is a superstar, but he's just walking into that. All these other teams that usually win, you probably got 2, 3 guys. And now they do have SGA and Jalen Williams, and then their key role guys step up as well. But this is kind of like a turning point for the NBA. OKC make some threes, but SGA is a more mid-range type of guy. I feel like the NBA is pushing for threes, threes, threes. It's more entertaining if you score more points. But those guys play the right way. They move the ball. They know late shot clock, who to find. When it's winning time, who's going to have the ball. They execute their stuff. They roll guys, get after it on defense. They turning people. But shout out to Nembhard, though, too. Nembhard kind of surprised me. I think he played tough and had some great plays within his whole playoff experience. So he's definitely up there. He gained my respect. I never really watched him as much, but Nembhard is definitely tough. But back to OKC, I think it's well deserved. I'm happy for SGA, MVP for the season, Finals MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and national man and champion of the world. That's very, very tough, and that's very elite. I think he's going to be, when it's all said and done in his career, I don't think this will be his last one.
Go ahead, AJ.
SGA, one of 4 players in NBA history to win the scoring title, regular season MVP and Finals MVP. He's in company with the GOAT, MJ, Shaq, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's it. So everything you said is spot on. This is a team that was built through the draft from the ground up. When SGA first got traded to the Clippers, shout out Paul George, because this whole NBA Finals because of him. On both sides, like the Pacers and the Thunder, this all came together because of Paul George. It's crazy. But when Shea got there, this team was terrible. They were at best a 22-win team, and it was tough. They stuck with it. They kept getting building blocks. Once you got a core together with Chet Holmgren, who was up and down in this finals, I expect him to be better next year. You get J-Dub in there. You got Case and Wallace, young guys like that. Then you add in the right veterans that fit with this team, like the Hartensteins, the Alex Caruso. Yes. Then you bring in Lou Dort, a linebacker playing shooting guard who can defend everybody.
Right.
You got a team that is going to be competitive for years to come, and you don't have to worry about contracts right away. Like you got some years with these guys, and it's like that is now. This is, like you said, a turning point in the NBA. We're not going to have these super teams anymore. Everyone thought that ever since Allen Garnett and Paul Pierce, and then the big 3 in Miami. Big 3 was the way to get to a championship. It's not the case anymore. I say that not even with just the Oklahoma City Thunder. I say that with the Pacers as well. The Pacers arguably didn't have a superstar on their team. So you got a bunch of guys that are considered role players. Fringe all-star caliber, the Siakams, the Halliburtons. This is a group of guys that come together, understand their roles, and star in their roles as best as they possibly can. And with a great coach like Rick Carlisle, these are the results. And before people try to use the injury excuse, Indiana took out the number 1 seed, Cleveland Cavaliers. They won 66 games this past season. That ain't no fluke. Milwaukee, I know Damian Lillard got injured, but you still had Giannis. You still had a very good team in Milwaukee. Took them out, and you beat a New York Knicks team that was having, by their standards, a historical season. They ain't been to the East Finals since 2000. Jalen Brunson's coming in here looking like Kobe in the fourth quarter. You took them out too. So the Pacers have continued to they proved me wrong so many times. I'm sure they've proven a bunch of people wrong the entire time. But when you look back on it, it made sense why they got to this point. They play within the system. They play within themselves. And everybody knows their roles. When you have a team that's bought in like that these are the results you can have. The only difference with OKC and Indiana, in my opinion, was they just had the MVP. The other side didn't.
I think I think both of you guys hit the nail with the hammer with the nail.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chase, like OKC plays like how you want to coach. Like
Right.
if you're like that's the perfect way to describe it. They play like a
Mm-hmm.
young, like nobody has
Right.
an ego. Everybody is selfless. Everybody gonna come and do their job. They got a young up and coming coach.
Yeah.
So like they play like how you want to coach your teams.
Mm-hmm.
With Indiana and OKC, they're both, and I agree with you guys to a point. Like it really shouldn't. There's gonna be there should be less like trying to go get 3 superstars and just go get the 3
Mm-hmm.
right players for your team or build the right team up. That's what OKC did. That's what Indiana did. That's what Minnesota did, and hell, that's what the Knicks did. Those 4 teams were finalists in the Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals, respectively. So those teams did that. So build the team up the right way. And
Mm-hmm.
when you build the team up the right way, Oklahoma City, you can make a case it's in the best situation. They have unlimited draft picks. They're still eating from the Clippers. They just won the championship. They swapped picks with the Clippers this year. So, and I think they have the Clippers pick next year, if I'm not mistaken. So, just build the team up, make great moves. Congratulations to Sam Presti and the Thunder organization on winning the championship. Well deserved. And again, it sucked with Tyrese Hollenberg because I thought that was going to be a great game 7. It was on the verge of being that. But he got hurt, and obviously that sucked the air out the arena and took the life out of the Pacers. And you could just see like they weren't the same team after he got hurt. Kevin Durant, he was a Phoenix Sun. He got traded from Phoenix to Houston. The Houston Rockets received Kevin Durant. The Phoenix Suns received Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10 pick in the draft, and 5 second-round picks. Your thoughts on this trade for Houston and Phoenix? Chase.
I feel like they gave up a lot. KD is definitely one of the guys I like watching. I'm definitely a fan of him, but I'm stuck. Like, what's left? You know, they do have Sagoon, they do have Van Lee, they have Thompson, one of the twins, Jabari Smith, which is younger as well. So I'm just wondering what was the expectations with this? Are y'all expecting KD? Because now I think KD has to come in. He has to put his foot down. Like he's the guy. You got to come in damn near average 28, 30. And I'm believing later in your years, I'm thinking you want to take the stress off you a little bit. So here, I think he might have to have not a James Harden type of Houston run, but he has to be efficient and he has to score the ball because you don't just have knockdown shooters around him. Van Lee can shoot it. Sagoon is kind of like a off-brand Joker or baby
Yeah,
Joker.
yeah.
So, but the other guys, Thompson is very tough. He gets after their defense. Definitely plays with chip on show. I like him. But what we doing on the bench? So I hope this isn't their final move. Hopefully they pick up something. If it's a veteran player, then come off the bench, give them a couple shooters or something of that nature. But right now, with just Kevin Durant and
Sengun.
and those pieces they have, I don't see them. I don't see them competing with the champs. You
Got you.
know,
So they
so
were the number 2 seed this past season. Do you obviously I know it's incomplete, but do you think they'll be the number 2 seed next season?
no, I think it'll take them a little while to get that culture right because
Got you.
their coach is a defensive minded coach as well. And I'm
Got
not
you.
saying that Kevin Durant don't play no defense, but he's never been mentioned for a defensive conversation. You know,
Got
and that coach that left, Dylan Brooks, was man, he creates havoc out there.
you. No, he does.
And missing a piece like that, I think it puts a lot of pressure on that twin Thompson. So I can see them kind of finding their rhythm later in the season, but I do not think they'll be number 2. Maybe they can make a little run or push, in the playoffs, but this isn't like a team that I think would come out the West in
Got
no
you.
form or fashion.
Got you. Got you. My last question before you get up out of here. So Oklahoma
So,
City won the championship. They're the champions.
hmm
Do you think it's more likely that that the Oklahoma City dynasty starts, or does the trend continue that for the past like 7, 8 seasons there's been a different champion? Do you think what do you think is more likely? OKC dynasty or continuous parity in the NBA?
I think this could be a start of a dynasty because I think they really mesh together. I think they really enjoy being together. They will, take a couple like, oh well, to keep this guy, I'll take less money. That's what I get from them. So I think their team will stay intact, and they're only gonna get better as they get older. They're young. They got a young core. They have good pieces around them. They have a great coaching staff, great culture there. I think this might be the start of their dynasty. I think some teams are that and the rest of the teams in the NBA should be on notice, like what we got to do.
What about you, JG? Start of an OKC dynasty or continuous trend of new champion every year?
I understand looking at this team as a dynasty. I understand that, but I got to take the field. As great as Oklahoma City has been all season long, and they have been great, Indiana showed me some flaws with this team where I feel like with more film study and getting to know, Chet Holmgren, SGA, and J-Dub, I feel like there's ways that some teams can get them. And especially in a tough Western Conference, it's obviously gonna look different now with KD going to the Rockets, but Lakers will be back. Luka and LeBron, they'll be back. Jokic will be back. Anthony Edwards in Minnesota will be back. There's a lot of teams in the Western Conference that are very much equipped to challenge Oklahoma City, I believe, and go and win the Western Conference. So I'm not saying OKC is going anywhere. Like they're not going anywhere. I'd be stupid to think that, but I'm not ready to say that they are going to be a dynasty. I'm gonna have to see it. But they have everything they need to do it. I just feel like there's also, while saying that, there's other teams in the West that I believe have what it takes to possibly knock them off.
Yeah, I would say that they're. It's funny. I asked y'all that, and I'm really asking myself. I would say I would take the field. The only reason why I would take the field, Chase, I agree with you. Like they have all the makings of a dynasty, but the reason why I would take the field is that, like, the NBA is unpredictable. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
3 months ago. If I would have told you the Dallas Mavericks was going to get the number 1 pick, you'd be like, man, get out of here. Like, man, that's not happening. Like, what are you talking about? Like, they don't even need the number 1 pick. If I would have told you 3 months ago, man, a team that got Victor Wembanyama, De'Aaron Fox, and Stephon Castle, they're going to get the number 2 pick in the draft. You'd be like, well, damn, like, how much do they need? Like, I mean, damn, like, wow. Like, how are they going to get the number 2 pick? They're not that bad to select a player at that high, in the pick. So that's the only reason, like the NBA, it's like the NBA guards, man. They come out swinging. So yeah, you think like over here it look good, and then over there they're like, hey, look over here, but it's really over there. Like that's how the NBA is. So the Thunder have everything they need, but I just think like situations and crazy things in the NBA. Again, like I said, I didn't think the Mavericks were going to get the number 1 pick. I didn't think Kevin Durant was going to the Houston Rockets. Giannis is still in Milwaukee. Let's see what happens with him. So the NBA is wild. I think Oklahoma City should be celebrated. I was one of the people who doubted Oklahoma City. I thought they'd lose in the second round. They went. They went on and they destroyed Memphis. I felt like they ended the Ja Morant, the Desmond Bain, Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson era, and they beat them in a tough 7-game series. You guys got them ready for the finals by that tough 7-game series. They beat Minnesota in 5 in the West. And then in the NBA Finals, Indiana took them to a tough 7-game. We know what happened again with the 7th game, but still, they had to get to that point. So Oklahoma City, man, they have all the makings in the world to be, the next dynasty. But the NBA, man, it's a funny business, man. Again, one day you look up, like, man, this is a tough situation. Then the next day, the whole team gone, 3 guys gone. Whatever. So NBA wild, man.
Absolutely. You're right about that. You never could predict what's going to happen this off season. Who's getting traded, who's getting signed to what teams. Of course, they're going to try to team up to beat these guys. So I can see a lot of that this off season. But just right now, I don't see them other teams beating them, even if healthy, Boston or whatever, because that's what I thought it was going to end up being until Jason Tatum got hurt. And I thought Boston was coming out of the East. But I always take whoever come out the West. I call it the best of the West. I feel like got a little edge, So besides that Dallas time when they was playing against Jason Tatum, I'm like, yeah, Boston gonna get there.
No, I got you. Go ahead, JG. You finish it up. Go ahead, bro.
No, Chase said what I was going to say. Like, how soon we forget last year we thought Boston was going to be the next dynasty because of how dominant they were in the finals last year against Dallas, and Dallas didn't have a chance. So you're telling me this team is coming back and nobody's leaving? Yeah, I'm taking Boston. But then we saw what happened. You know, just things happen. You know, injuries happen.
Yeah.
We pray to God that teams stay healthy, but we can't. This is why I take the field, because we just don't know what can happen down the road with OKC, what kind of adversity they might hit, how the landscape of the NBA can change. Because this is shaping up to be one of the more memorable off seasons in the NBA that we've seen in a long time. And we already kicked off with fire. You know, KD going to the Rockets, so who knows what happens next?
Absolutely. Chase, brother, I can't thank you enough for this, man. Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for giving us your time. I just want to shout out again, bro, what you're doing, coaching 7U, Team Melo. Congratulations on doing what you're doing, man. You're a hell of an inspiration, bro. You're a guy, bro. You know that. All love, man. Continuously do what you need. Continuously do what you're doing. Any way that we here, Highly Opinionated, can help, you know, get the message out, get your Instagram out, get whatever we can out, yo. We will definitely do that, bro. We appreciate you coming on. We look forward to having you back, bro. It's not the last time. First, but many times back, bro. Can't wait. Go ahead, bro.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate y'all for having me. I appreciate the invite. I definitely will come on anytime you hit me. You know, you're my guy. You got my personal number. There ain't nothing to it.
Absolutely, bro. All love, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching Highly Opinionated. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is sponsored by Wolves of War. In some of the episodes, you can see my co-host and Ross wearing a brand called Wolves of War. Wolves of War is our first sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, and we are so thankful to have those guys sponsoring Highly Opinionated. Thank you very much. The actual meaning of Wolves of War is that it represents having a strong path behind you through the battles of life. With the right people behind you, you can get through anything. You guys see the link for Wolves of War? Make sure you guys click on the link, shop, great apparels, t-shirts, sweatsuits, whatever you want, they have. Once again, Wolves of War. Make sure you guys go shop.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Dill's Bangin' Breakdowns. And, the Khalil Roundtree versus Jamal Hill card. Honestly, it was a pretty upset the whole entire card. I just honestly was not a fan of any of the fights. I mean, Khalil Roundtree came out and proved himself against the tough-ranked opponent Jamal Hill. But really, the whole thing did not do anything for me. Let me count the number of unanimous decisions compared to the amount of fights, okay? Unanimous decision we'll start with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 9 out of 12 fights were unanimous decisions. Come on now. That's pretty crazy. This is our first time in the UFC fighting in the Baku over there, crazy place, Azerbaijan, and there's only one knockout and one submission on the whole entire fight card and one split decision. The only knockout of the night came in round 2 for the one of the fights on the main card, Nazim Sadiqov versus Nicolas Mota. Yeah, knockout there. It was pretty good. He beat on him the whole time. Nazim is he's a crazy fighter, actually. I'm watching out for that guy, actually. All them guys over there in Russia and them side of the country, Dagestans and wherever they are, them guys are crazy, man. That's where he's fighting out of. I think he's fighting out of near Baku, so it's pretty good for him. Submission for the next guy. We already knew this guy is crazy. He's from Kazakhstan, Maitabek Orlaba. I've already seen him fight, and that guy is already insane. He submitted this dude in the first round, Tafik. I ain't messing with the guy. Like I said, them Kyrgyzstan, them Dagestan, them Russian guys, I ain't messing with none of them. And that guy came out and submitted him in the first round. He looked very good, too. Oraliba, good fighter. Keep on the look for him. Big Curtis Blaze came in with the split decision, unfortunately, but he dominated for 3 rounds. That's a big, heavy hitter, Curtis Blaze. I am a fan of him, been a fan of him. He's fought a lot of good people, too. Curtis Blaze has been in the rankings forever. He just went against this guy. Unfortunately, lost to Tom Aspinall, current champ. He beat Almeida. He lost Yuri Prohaka. He lost to Aspinall before that. But he's always been up there. He's always fought heavy hitters. He beat Rosenstruck. Derek Lewis beat him. But he's always fought top-of-the-line guys, and I'm never going to count Blades out, because that's my guy. And he won this fight by split decision, so good for him. Co-main event, unanimous decision. Ignacio Bahamendez. I wanted him to win, but like I said, don't count Rafael Fiziev out because Rafael Fiziev put a beating on him for 3 rounds. I'm not joking. He put a beating on him. Chile versus Azerbaijan, Baku, and the fans were putting on for Rafael Fiziev, and he went crazy. He's a heavy hitter. He threw nothing but punches, a couple takedowns here and there, but he had nothing but heavy hits and big punches the whole entire fight. Rafael Fiziev dominated for that 15 minutes. Khalil Roundtree, Jamal Hill fight. It went to full 25 minutes. The scorecards were crazy. It was like 50-45 Roundtree, 50-45, and 50-47 or something like that, which means Khalil Roundtree dominated him. I do think Khalil Roundtree is back up in talks for the title contention. Maybe there's a few more he can fight to get in there in the light heavyweight, but he looked very, very good. He said he was going to come out and do what he did. He didn't get a knockout, but he said he was just going to work Jamal Hill, and he absolutely worked Jamal Hill. Great fight. I don't know what's next for Jamal Hill in the light heavyweight. I do know Khalil he is underrated at this point, I guess. The odds were not for him, and he came out and smoked Khalil Roundtree. I mean, he came out and smoked Jamal Hill for pretty much 5 rounds. Great fight. I am a fan of both them guys. I can't wait to see what Khalil does next because big fan of him. Up next, though, good UFC coming up for UFC 317. Topuria versus Oliveira. And holy smokes, guys. Let's go. Everybody, let's go. Come on. Everybody better be watching. I better see somebody talk about this one because 317 is crazy. The prelims. Big fan of Nico Price fighting Jacoby Smith. Start the whole fight, start the whole pay-per-view off. And in these prelims, we got Sadikio Dumas versus Jackson McKay. Sadikio Dumas, we know he's a big hitter. Actually, I don't know if he's still in jail. I'm pretty sure he got arrested a few weeks ago or a few months ago. I'm not sure. Big fan of him, Sadikio Dumas. That's going to be a good fight. To start the prelims off, this is a crazy one too. Terrence McKinley, he is repping the USA. He is fighting a Russian, Borshev. I can't pronounce his first name. None of these guys. I wish they would give us a little breakdown of it. But to start the prelims off, those guys are crazy. This dude, Borshev, he's a heavy hitter. He did lose his last fight, but before that, he put on against Lintop. That was a great fight. That guy's a heavy hitter. That's going to be a great fight. I'm looking for Terrence McKinney in that one, though. A couple women fighting next. The women's flyweight. Vivian Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. Number 8 versus 10. They're battling their way up, though. But who wants to get that flyweight versus any... I forget her name, the champion. It's going to figures I'm blanking right now. But Zhang Wei Li. No one doesn't want to fight her. Come on now. Undisputed, pound for pound, heavy ranked. But number 8 versus 10, that's going to be a great fight. Hyder Emil versus Jose Miguel Delago. Good fight also, flyweights. The last fight on the prelims, we got Jack Hermanson versus Gregory Rodriguez. And Jack Hermanson is my guy, too. He throws down. Odds are in his favor. It's going to be a crazy good fight. And it's here in the U.S. T-Mobile Arena. Jack Hermanson's getting his hand raised in a knockout, I think. To start the main card off, too, it's a crazy main card. We got some bangers on this main card. Felipe Lima versus Peyton Talbot, bantamweight division. These guys are stacked also. USA versus Brazil. Peyton Talbot, he throws hands. He's a phenomenal grappler. His hands are very, very fast, but so is Felipe Lima. This guy loves to bang, I'm pretty sure. His record in the UFC, he has 4 wins by knockout, 3 by submission, 5 in the first round. He's in the win column. He's 2-0 in the UFC. That guy's going to be a problem. Felipe Lima, although Peyton Talbot, 7 knockouts, 1 submission, 1 first-round finish. He is coming off a loss, though. But that don't say nothing. We've seen guys come off 2 losses to get the finish. That's going to be a crazy fight. I'm taking breakdown on this one. Top 5, I'll give you my 5 picks. Felipe Lima on the first fight of the main card. Second fight, these 2 guys are some of my favorites also in this flyweight division. Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. Joshua Van just fought, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, June 7th, Joshua Van just fought, and he beat Silva in the 3rd round with a KO, and he really didn't get touched at all. It was a crazy fight. Joshua Van is a monster, and he said he was going to come back as quick as he can, and he's come back this quick. That's crazy. Joshua Van versus number 1, Brandon Royval. Brandon Royval is on a win streak right now. He's on 2. He beat Moreno and he beat Torria last October. Royval has been nothing but good also. He fought for the belt last year against Pantoja. He put up a great fight. He's just a great fighter in general. I like him, but I think Joshua Van wants us a little more than Royval. I've seen Royval go into like the 3rd and 4th round, even though it's only a 3-rounder. But I've seen Royval get a little gassed after he gets going in the 1st and 2nd round. But we'll see. I got Joshua Van. Felipe Lima, Joshua Van. 3rd fight in, Benil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. And Moicano want money. We love Moicano. I'm a big fan of Renato Moicano, even though he stepped up last minute to fight Islam for the belt last year, I'm pretty sure. Let's see when this was. Pretty sure that was his last fight. Yeah, his last fight was was January when he stepped up last minute to fight Islam for the belt. But before that, he beat St. Denis pretty bad. Doctor stoppage after the 2nd round. Before that, he beat Jalen Turner. So Moicano is a monster. Benil Dariush is also a pretty heavy hitter also, and not too many people want to fight him. He is coming off a loss versus Sarukian. He just fought for the belt not too long ago also. I'm going to give it to Moicano. Lima, Van, Moicano. Co-main event, Alexander Pantoja, Kai Kara-France. They are fighting for the men's flyweight title. Alexander Pantoja is arguably the best to ever do it, honestly. His record is absolutely insane. He has 8 wins by knockout, 11 wins by submission, and 11 first-round finishes. He's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fight win streak, and he's had the belt for 4 or 5 of them, I'm pretty sure. Who did he take the belt from? Oh man, I guess he's just had the belt for Moreno took it from him at one point. He got it back, but still, that's crazy. 9 fight win streak. Jeez, Alexander Pantoja is on fire, and I think he is going to win. Kai Kara-France has looked very good in his last fights, though. He looked Steve Ercik fight. He knocked him out. He's just a very good fighter. I never want to count Kai Kara-France out because of how he fights. He's so scrappy and dirty, and he's just a quick guy. He's quick. He never wants to give up either. I'm going to give it to Alexander Pantoja, though. That's my guy. He's on that 9 fight win streak. Main event, 2 incredible fighters fighting for the lightweight belt, which has been vacated, and they are fighting for it. Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira, the #1 submission expert in the UFC, Charles Oliveira, the man to make the most money in UFC bonuses, over $1 million in UFC bonuses. Charles DuBronx Oliveira going out to fight one of the pound for pound, Ilia Topuria. 6 wins by knockout, 8 by submission, 9 first rounds. Ilia Topuria is on a undefeated in the UFC. He's knocked Max Holloway out last October. He knocks Volkanovski out. He beats Josh Emmett up for 5 minutes. He gets a submission against Bryce Mitchell, put Bryce Mitchell to sleep. Holy smokes, guys. This is going to be a fight. Charles Oliveira, though. Come on. 10 wins by knockout, 21 by submission. He is the submission expert of the UFC. Takedown defense is 56%. He loves to be on guard anyway as it is. So, this is going to be a crazy fight. He beat he beat Michael Chandler up for 5 minutes. He lost to Arman Sarukian by split decision, but that was a crazy fight. He beat Benil Dariush up. He lost to Oliveira by submission. He beat Gaethje up. He beat Poirier up. He beat Chandler up then. He beat Ferguson up. Come on. He beat Kevin Lee up. This is going to be a crazy fight. I'm taking Oliveira. I think the odds are in Poirier. Odds are for Poirier, I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to have to go Charles Oliveira on this. We're going Felipe Lima, Joshua Van, Renato Moicano, Alexander Pantoja, and Charles Oliveira for UFC 317. Those are my picks, guys. Let's tune in. Besides UFC, we do got some crazy also in the UFC hot topics that's going on. John Jones vacated the belt. He is no longer the heavyweight champion. He has retired from the UFC. Tom Aspinall is now the men's heavyweight champion of the UFC. I'm pretty sure this is not how anybody wants to get the belt. No one wants to get the belt from somebody retiring, or I wouldn't want to get the belt that way either. You didn't win the belt. That's not how you would want to fight for the belt and go out either a champion or go out fighting as a champion. You know what I mean? But John Jones said he's got millions of dollars rolling in on him every single day for stuff that he doesn't even need to do that's around fighting. So I mean, I don't blame him. His legacy is crazy. I believe he has. You're gonna make me. I'm gonna have to look John Jones' record up. I believe he has 28. 28 UFC title defenses or something like that. He lost one, but that's from the 10 to 12 elbows, which I don't even count that as a loss for him. It was a crazy way of losing. John Jones' record: 11 wins by knockout, 7 wins by submission. He has the most title defenses, the most wins. He's crazy. He is by far the UFC GOAT. Beating Chael Sonnen, beating Rashad Evans, Lyoto Machida, Rampage Jackson, Bader, Stephen Bonner, Uven St. Pro, Daniel Cormier a few times, Gustafsson. There's not a single blemish on the UFC record. I'm pretty sure when they changed the rules for the 10 to 12 elbows or whatever they are, 12 to 6 elbows, that actually got erased from John Jones' record because of the new rule. So I'm not mad at John Jones for retiring as the GOAT and not putting a blemish on the legacy. He's done what he had to do. He said he may come back into fighting at another time, but for now, though, you got Tom Aspinall, heavyweight champion. He loves to fight. We're going to see 4 or 5 heavyweight title defenses or 3 title shots within the next year. 2026 could be 4 title shots. I guarantee there's going to be 2 more this year. Tom Aspinall is definitely going to defend that title twice this year, whether against Curtis Blades because he had a good performance or one of the top guys, Volkov, Cyril Gane, any of them guys. Tom Aspinall is going to put them all out because that's my guy, but pretty crazy John Jones doing that. Ilia Topuria also did say that if Islam Makhachev wins, he's going to move up to 170 and try to take the belt from JDM if Islam wins that belt from JDM. So that'd be crazy to have Ilia Topuria as a 3-time UFC champ in 3 different divisions. That'd be the first person to ever do that. Also, some good boxing this weekend away from UFC. Canelo Alvarez versus Crawford. This is going to be a crazy fight. September 13th. It's a little far away, but I'm excited for Terrence Crawford is a G when it comes to boxing, and Canelo Alvarez is pretty unstoppable. Both have crazy records. Both have quick hands. I believe they're fighting over in Riyadh, over in Saudi Arabia. They're going to fight, but that's going to be an absolute crazy fight. Actually, it's in Las Vegas. Wow, it's for the super middleweight belt. One of the crazy belts they have in boxing. I don't even know how many he has, but it's Canelo's undisputed super middleweight championship belt that's on the line. I watched the press conference yesterday, and Canelo is on fire, saying he doesn't even know if Terrence Crawford's going to be able to hit him with how good Canelo is right now. He keeps saying, we know he is. His last fight's been crazy, but Terrence Crawford is a monster. I ain't counting him out. Also boxing, though, this weekend, we have Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I haven't heard any promotion on this. I haven't seen. We do have Dana White, who is officially promoting for the Terrence Crawford Canelo fight because he is in cahoots with Riyadh's season pay-per-view event, and he does have. I believe there's a signing between both of them, and the UFC's promoting boxing over there just because of how well the UFC does and how much Dana White does for promotion. But Jake Paul and the Chavez fight, Dana White is not promoting because Dana White is not a fan of Jake Paul, and the promotion anyway sucks. But, I mean, I'll probably tune in. I'm pretty sure it's this Friday, I'm pretty sure. So, nothing to do. And I'm pretty sure, keep going back and forth between the 2 different fight cards, but the Canelo versus Crawford is going to be on Netflix. That's pretty cool for everybody to watch. I'm looking forward to it. A lot of good fights, a lot of good boxing. After this week, though, I'll talk to you all next week on Wednesday when we figure out what goes on with this Jake Paul and this UFC 317, and I am pumped, and I will catch you guys next week on Dill's Bangin' Breakdowns, guys.
Dylan, man. It's a busy week in the UFC, bro. Dylan, as always, bro, thank you for your just boxing, MMA, everything expertise, bro. Valuable asset to the team, bro. Love you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Can't wait to see you next week. Dylan. Well, speaking of Dylan, one of the biggest news this weekend, bro, that happened was John Jones, UFC fighter. He called it quits. He's retiring. Just my thoughts on John Jones. One of the best, if not, I think he's the best pound for pound UFC fighter I've ever seen. But if not one of the best pound for pound fighters ever. John Jones was a beast in his prime. I know he had additions out of the octagon, but when he was in the octagon, he was the best person I've ever seen in the octagon. So John Jones, hell of a career, stellar career. Congratulations on your retirement, man, and good luck to you on the other side, man, outside the octagon.
Yeah, shout out John Bones Jones. Like, just one of those guys. Like, he's a superstar that even if you didn't watch a ton of boxing, you knew who that guy was. So just whenever he was on TV, so many people would talk about it. People would gather like, all right, when's John Jones fighting? Like, a lot of people who don't even watch a lot of boxing and I know who John Jones is. So that just tells you the kind of impact that he had as a superstar fighter. The game's going to miss him. It's kind of surreal. It's like it's one of those guys that growing up, like in the world of sports, like he's one of those icons that you always know is going to be there. So it's going to be weird not having him around. But we all got to come to grips with that with every great player that comes to an end with their career. We saw Kobe Bryant get into his last season and how emotional that was. And I can't tell you, I can't speak for you, but the emotion that I felt with that, I'm sure a bunch of big fighting fans probably felt that about John Jones as well. So shout out to him, great carear, and just best luck on the other side of retirement.
Yeah, it sucks again. Like, as we're young, as you're born to get older. So you obviously can't do the same things you used to do maybe 5, 10, 15 years ago, obviously, because your body won't let you. You're getting older. John Jones, like you said, man, one of the best boxers in UFC. Like, he will box the hell out you. He could just knock you out with his bare hand. So he'll definitely be missed. Again, man, salute to him on a hell of a career, man. John Jones, the best pound for pound UFC fighter I've ever seen. Let's celebrate champions, bro. Let's start off with the NHL Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. Yes, sir. The Florida Panthers went back-to-back. They beat the Edmonton Oilers in a 6-game series. Sam Bennett took the Conn Smythe Trophy for the Florida Panthers. Again, just congratulations to the Florida Panthers. I picked them to go back-to-back. They took care of business. I felt like the defining moment for them was Game 1. I felt like when they won Game 1, they won Game 2. When they won Game 2, I felt like it got them right because they basically gave them the home ice advantage. And if you look at it, they won Game 6 on their home ice in Florida. So congratulations to the Florida Panthers on going back-to-back, and congratulations to Sam Bennett on winning the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Yeah, I thought Florida was in Edmonton's heads early on in the series. We saw the game where Florida was blowing them out. Edmonton was doing a lot of fighting. They were doing a lot of like cheap shots and everything on the ice, and you could just see like Florida was laughing at them. Like you could see them laughing at the Oilers. So like once a team has that kind of confidence and they know they're in your head, it's gonna be tough to actually come back and beat them. So I thought the Oilers would come back and seek vengeance for their loss last year against the Panthers, but we talk about dynasties. We might be witnessing one in the NHL here with Florida. So congrats to them, and keep an eye on them for next year. As a Golden Knights fan, I'm looking forward to getting a chance to knock off the champs.
Absolutely, no, they are a dynasty to me. I mean, they went to they've been to 3, they won 2. So I think they are a dynasty. They've been to 3 Stanley Cups, they won 2. So this Stanley Cup was the first 2 games were amazing. Both games went to overtime. Game 2 was double overtime. That's the game I'm talking about. Florida won 5-4. I felt like that game got them right because Game 3, Florida won 6-1. So that got them right. To got them right, and they knew that they could win in Edmonton. And Game 2 and Game 5, they won in Edmonton. So, and then I obviously they closed out in 6. So, congratulations to the Florida Panthers back-to-back, and I think they are a dynasty in the National Hockey League, bro. I really do. Let's celebrate the NBA champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are the NBA champions, well-deserved. Let me start off by saying I did not pick them. They were the number 1 seed. They were the best team all year, and I didn't pick them. They won 68 games on the regular season. I thought they would lose in the second round to the Los Angeles Clippers. They did not. They didn't even play the Clippers. They played Minnesota. They played Memphis in the first round, disposed of them quickly. They swept them. They played Denver in the second round. That was a hard-fought 7-game series, which got Oklahoma City ready for the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals. In the Western Conference Finals, they beat Minnesota in 5 games. And then in the NBA Finals, Indiana and OKC played a very good 7-game series. I don't care what the ratings say. This was very good basketball. You wanted to see two teams put their heart, put their passion, put their fight on the line to win a championship. It was a 7-game series. I felt Game 7 would have been a classic. Again, we did this early in the show. We want to send our prayers to Tyrese Halliburton towards Achilles, man. That injury sucks. It took the life out the game for the Indiana Pacers. But that doesn't mean that Oklahoma City didn't deserve to win. They deserved to win. They were the better team. But two things can be true. Oklahoma City are the champions. They deserve to be champions. But I would have loved to see the Indiana Pacers with a healthy Tyrese Halliburton, especially the way he started. He was 3 for 4 from three-point range. He had 9 points before he tore his Achilles.
Yeah. Watching the Game 7 last night, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like when it was over, I felt a little bit emotional for both teams because I don't know what it was, but it took me back to like, you know, my last game in high school, how I couldn't get over the hump. I couldn't beat the St. Francis of the world, the St. Joe's. But we finally got that championship in our last game. And the emotion that I felt running through that. It was like it was so long and so like so many hours, so much time, everything put into it. All the doubts that we had, that my team and I had, you know, from the outside, people doubting us and everything. And then it also took me to my last game in college, how, you know, the way that we lost, we had expectations and we didn't fulfill them in our opinion. And it was just like so gut wrenching that, you know, you just I'm in the locker room crying for like 10, 15 minutes straight, you know, nonstop because but it reminded me why you fall in love with the game to begin with. These were two of the most disrespected, you know, underrated teams, dismissed teams that we've seen go at it for their first championship. A lot of people didn't think Oklahoma City was going to do it. They thought they would choke in the second round or the West Finals. Everyone thought the Lakers were going to step all over them because they were just too young. They weren't ready, or Denver would get them, or someone else would get them. The Clippers would get them. Nobody believed really in Oklahoma City. The Pacers. No one picked the Pacers to get anywhere near Game 7 of the finals. No one. I mean, maybe people in Indiana who were, you know, just riding being biased for their teams. All right, cool, but nobody's picking Indiana to go to the finals. No way. Tyrese Halliburton is labeled the most overrated player in basketball. Watching how he took that personal and putting it on display was so special to see. That's what I love about it. That's what I love about the game. Like that's why you love talking about it. You love breaking it down because Shedeur Alexander, all right, you got your MVP, but are you really that guy? Tyrese Halliburton, is it true that you're overrated? I watched two teams literally battle it out to the very end, like where it was like, yo, we got something to prove here, like to everyone. And if you didn't watch these finals, I feel bad for you because, yo, that's what the game is about. It's about making a name. It's about going for the ring, even though some guys probably are sitting here saying that the ring doesn't really matter all that much, LeBron James. But, yo, this is what we play the game for. This is what we love breaking down the game for, man. It's like, and then watching Halliburton go down the way that he did, I was praying that his calf would just hold on for one more game. Because when I first heard calf strain, my mind went right to Kevin Durant.
Absolutely. Same thing that went to my mind.
The same leading thing. And it's like the calf and the Achilles are close together, man. So when one strain, the other one has to work harder. And it can only take but so much pounding. And Tyrese came out and hit 3 or 4 threes to start the game. Are you kidding me? Like that, I thought the Pacers were going to win this game. I think they would have won this game had Tyrese not gotten hurt. I thought they'd be champions right now. That's how highly I think Halliburton was. That's how he came out. It was like, we're doing this right.
He was hot. He was ready. He was ready to play in Game 7 for sure.
Yeah, man. It was like I hated that it had to end like that for him after everything that he overcame. I was like, man, just let his calf hold up for one more day, and then we'll deal with it in the offseason. But it just sucks because now it's the risk that you take. So now he's going to likely miss all of next season.
Oh, yeah, he's out for the whole season. He's out for
all of next season. It's like people are texting me saying he shouldn't have played. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah,
it's NBA Finals Game 7. Like, there's no guarantee that you're going to be back here. Exactly. You gotta do it. I get it. And it sucks so bad. But like, man, congrats to Oklahoma City. Congrats to the Pacers because I'm watching Jalen Williams on OKC shedding tears. I see TJ McConnell shedding tears who freaking balled out like crazy in the finals.
well.
freaking balled out. He looked unstoppable. All 5'2" of him.
He was unstoppable.
He was buckets, bro.
He was unstoppable in Game 7.
Yeah,
you can make a case he might have been that best player in Game 7.
Hell yeah! He could have stole Finals MVP. He going at Chet.
Exactly.
Lil dude is going at Chet Holmgren all 7-3 and saying, I don't give a damn, bro. Pump fake, layup, get past you, layup. That's McConnell, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, watching him tear up, man, and then seeing Tyrese Halliburton in the locker room, it was like, damn, bro. Like, that was a fun NBA Finals, and that's the way to cap off a great season, man. So again, if you missed that, I feel bad for you, man. Because like that's why we fall in love with the game of basketball. That's why we love breaking it down and talking about it. It was two teams scratching and clawing with everything they had to get their first ring. So congrats to Shea. Again, one of just 4 players in the history of the NBA. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan, who did it 4 times, by the way. Scoring title, regular season MVP, and Finals MVP. Congratulations to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and OKC Thunder. They put the league on notice that they are here, and the league needs to be on notice.
I agree. I agree with everything you said, brother. You took the words right. Took the words right from me, man. I definitely agree with you. Oklahoma City is here to stay, and I don't necessarily think they're gonna, be a dynasty, but I think they'll be there. They will be in contention for a while in this in the NBA, especially in the Western Conference. And they have what they have now. They have confidence because they got that championship monkey off their back, so they know how to do it. Once you know how to do something, you can do anything because you know how to do it. So congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Again, sucks for Tyrese Halliburton, man. It sucked. It was tough watching him with the crutches walk off and all that. It was tough at the end of the game as leaving out the arena. So I will say this quickly on the East. The Eastern Conference wide open. Jason Tatum torn Achilles. Damian Lillard torn Achilles. Tyrese Halliburton torn Achilles. I know it. I mean, right now, I sent you this. Right now, the favorite to win the East is your beloved Cleveland Cavaliers. We know what you think of them. The Knicks are right behind them. So I'm gonna say this. I said this before. I said it last week. I'm gonna say it again. Don't count out the Philadelphia 76ers, man. Like, somebody gonna have to win the East. Somebody gonna have to do it. And I'm just saying, like, if Philadelphia can just get health, that's all they need is just some help. I know. But if they can get health, bro, I'm telling you, man, like they got content. They in contention because Boston not gonna be the same. Indiana's not gonna be the same. And Milwaukee, obviously, they'll take somewhat of a step back. And then, what if Milwaukee trades Giannis during the season? See what I'm saying? So, man, listen, you can look all you want, man. Philadelphia, man, they got a chance, man, to win the East next year.
Don't buy Philadelphia. Don't buy Cleveland. Guys, I'm trying to help you early. Don't buy into Cleveland. Don't do it. It's freaking fool's gold. Don't do it. I don't care what the odds look. I don't care what the roster look like. Don't do it. They will let you down. They will not let you down to letting you down. That's a good way to put Cleveland.
They will not let you down.
Side note, SGA just became the greatest player in the history of the Oklahoma City Thunder franchise. That includes Russell Westbrook, KD, and James Harden. Just want to say that.
Oh wow.
I can say it again.
Yeah. I think he will be over time. I don't think he's the best player right now. I think that's still Kevin Durant. No. I think Kevin Durant totality is a better overall player than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Not in the franchise's history.
Yeah, but the reason why you're saying that is because he won the championship. I'm saying if you just judge both players, Kevin Durant is a better player than Shai. In my opinion, he's a better player than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, Katie's a better player. I'm not at all trying to put SGA over Kevin Durant. Let's get that straight. But I'm saying just for this franchise, for what SGA has already done and what he's going to do, I think he's the greatest player that franchise has ever had.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that because you're doing a little bit of forecasting what you think he will do. So yeah, I'll give you that because I think they're not going to be dumb like how they were with Kevin Durant and let him go. Not let him go because they didn't want Kevin Durant to go, but they're not going to be in that position.
The nucleus that Oklahoma City has is kind of a reincarnation of what they had before, except OKC made the wrong move in not choosing James Harden over Serge Ibaka. They chose Serge Ibaka over James Harden, and the rest is history. We look back on that and saying, why would you do that? But this core now with SGA, J-Dub, and Chet Holmgren, who I believe will get better. I don't think he had the best series. He's been very, very up and down, inconsistent. I think he'll get better. You got to make sure you put that together and keep that together and continue to add around it, which will make sense. And then you got something there.
100% right, bro. You are 100% right. Yeah, you definitely got something. Just keep add the right pieces around the main core. Draft well. We know they draft well. They draft well from first round, second round, undrafted guys. So they the draft they know how to do. Sam Presti's congrats. Sam Presti deserves a congratulations. He's been there through the thick and thin when they moved from Seattle to Oklahoma City. He's been basically in that organization. I'm sure it was tough when he had KD, James, and Harden. When he had KD, Russ, and James did not win a championship. Made moves with other rosters to try to win a championship, didn't do it. So congratulations to Sam Presti and the Oklahoma City Thunder on being your 2025 NBA champions. Ladies and gentlemen, the NBA draft. A quick reminder again, the NBA draft is Wednesday night. Round 1 is Wednesday night on ESPN and ABC. Round 2 is Thursday night. Both nights, the draft starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, Wednesday night, ESPN, ABC. Thursday night, ESPN. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys for watching episode 43 of the Best Sports Show Out. Again, you guys make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to Club JG Podcast. My brother's over there doing great things, bro. Keep up the great work, bro. All love, you know that.
Appreciate that, man.
For the best producer in the game, Ross. For the best calls in the game, JG. I'm merely Josh. Thank you guys for watching episode 43 of Highly Opinionated. We will see you guys next week. We out.